even qualify for '94, so they had some making up to do on home soil. Ahead of the tournament, Zidane was flying. Back-to-back Serie A titles and Champions League finals with Juventus, but things didn't exactly go to plan. In France's second group game, he was shown one of these. I mean, we were so busy getting angry at Bex for his red, we didn't even realise Zidane was getting properly dug out in France for the 12 days before. The French public demanded he be kicked out of the squad and sent home, but manager Aimé Jacquet held firm and brought him back 2 games later. After his return, he'd start every game until the final, where he was quite simply brilliant. He scored not once, but twice, and this was the moment he'd been waiting for. There was national jubilation, and all was forgiven. He was even rewarded with a Ballon d'Or to cap off a near-perfect year. France won the Euros 2 years later, and so were red-hot favourites at the 2002 World Cup. But the table will tell you things did not go to plan. Now, come 2006, France, now captained by Zidane, are one of the favourites again, but they made hard work of it. They won just 1 game and finished second in their group, which meant they had to beat Spain, Brazil and Portugal en route to the final. Then, the moment we all remember. Zinedine, just leave it. Walk away. Zinedine, no! And that meant he became only the 2nd player in history to be sent off twice in World Cups. France lost, but he still won the Golden Ball. As you can see, he was thrilled. Or furious. Zidane never played again, but across 3 tournaments his story had everything. Disgrace, glory, infamy. We don't like our heroes clean anyway, do we?
Good morning, 3 minutes past 6 o'clock. It's Friday, July the 17th. This is World Cup Breakfast with On Clock. The perfect time to upgrade your car. Get 2 years free servicing when you buy a used car in the upgrade event. Check it out online. I'm Jeff Stelling. Now, you might be expected to have Gabby Agbonlahor here today. He's gone for a lie down in a dark room. I've never seen a man so angry, so upset, so frustrated yesterday. But we got the ideal replacement. I hope he's not angry. I hope he's not down. I hope he's not frustrated. Former Watford and Burnley and Everton and Nottingham Forest manager Sean Dyche. Morning, Sean.
Morning, Jeff.
How are you feeling then?
I'm good. I'm a little bit like everyone else, wondering what's gone on with England. But apart from that, I'm good.
Yeah, good stuff. Look, we'll talk a lot during the course of the morning about England. So what were you up to yesterday?
I did an online thing for someone, and then with Harry Redknapp actually, and Kevin Nolan, so that was good. And then I was with the band Blossoms, who we might be seeing later on.
We will be.
Took them for a couple of hours to Lager Shandy.
Good, yeah, good mates of yours. Yeah, I was listening to some of their stuff last night as well. Really like it.
No, they're good. They're really good, really good. Done well over the last few years as well. Yeah. Really got moved forward.
Look, as you can imagine, quite a reaction throughout yesterday here on talkSPORT to England's defeat.
When your day is long.
No, I don't regret it. It doesn't help if you regret anything. You take the decision in the moment.
He threw it away. Thomas Tuchel is a coward.
Thomas Tuchel tried to stay brave as long as he could.
Either he didn't believe in those players or he's a coward. There has to be a consequence for that. Yeah. He's a hypocrite.
You want him gone?
I think there are more reasons to not have Tuchel than there are to keep him there.
I think it's a ridiculous statement, if I'm being honest. It would be like throwing the baby out with the bathwater at this stage. You know, he's had a tournament. He gets to understand the runnings of a tournament. I think from his perspective, I think he'll gain from that.
I still think you give him another tournament. You give him another tournament to see how, and if it goes badly again, then you give it to him.
It was a cowardice decision. We are better than that.
Everybody hurt.
Surprise, surprise, Thomas Tuchel is still dominating the back pages this morning. Tuchel adamant he was not the reason his team crashed out, and instead he's turned it back really on the mindset of the players, questioning whether this is a more deep-rooted English problem. And I quote, he said, I think ball possession plays a crucial role. It's maybe not in our DNA like it is in the Spanish, Argentinian or Brazilian DNA to take the ball, control the game and the ball, which is a big problem. It wasn't in the Brazilian DNA, was it, in this World Cup either? What do you make of that, Sean?
No, I don't think it's easy when you're a manager, and especially what's happened. The weight on your shoulders, he's got to say something at the end of the day. But what I would say is, having been in the Premier League for so many years, I'm pretty sure, and in fact I know this, the Premier League got the highest possession stats across, certainly in Europe, I think across the world. So I don't agree with, you can't, it's in our DNA, because most of these players, as we know, well, virtually all of them, play in the Premier League. So if you're playing football regularly in the Premier League and you're in teams that are averaging something, I don't know, 800 passes a game or whatever, or I think the highest is something like 875 or something like that. I don't agree with that part. The only thing I would say is he's been in circa 18 months. So surely if that's the problem, or you've noticed that as a problem, it's your responsibility, I imagine, as the manager and your coaching team, to improve upon that. Now, I know they only get certain coaching windows, but if you think it's a problem and you've recognised the problem, possibly. He did say maybe, to be fair to him. I like to bring balance to managers' lives, and he did say maybe it's a DNA problem. But on this occasion, I think that's clutching a little bit.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, these players now, they've been brought up since they're 7 years old. Possession is king, you know what I mean? So I think they can deal with the ball. I think it's a responsibility of the coaching team and of the players, don't get me wrong, joint responsibility to go and deal with the ball and keep the ball. And there's different ways of winning games. One is a tactical way of winning, which they tried to do, which is defend it out, of course. And let's have it right. If they get over the line by doing that, I don't think we'd have said tactical genius, but we'd have said, well, fair play, they've found a way. Like some of the other games, let's face it, it's not been glorious football.
Against Mexico.
Yeah,
found a way.
Yeah, exactly. It's not been glorious.
Congo.
Yes. Yeah, find a way to get the job done. Now, that didn't happen. So, of course, a massive furore about why it didn't happen, and the big inquest starts.
Yeah. Well, what should the outcome of that inquest be then, Sean? First time I've spoken to you, what was your view on what happened that night and Thomas Tuchel's attempt to change the way the game appeared to be going?
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't overly enamoured with what we were doing anyway. I've spoken freely on this marvellous channel that we're on, and, on talkSPORT regularly, and said, look, it's not as good as what everyone was making out, I didn't think, and that's nothing against the manager, Thomas Tuchel, nothing at all. It's just that I didn't think, I wasn't thinking we were blowing teams away and we were purring, but we were finding a way, and that's equally fair to say. That's a brilliant thing to have, of course, if you're not playing brilliantly, but you're winning games. Now, that's a great habit. We all know that. So I don't think I was too... I try to give balance to my comments about these things, and I didn't think we were magnificent anyway. There was a lot of talk about this feel, and how the feel was better. I wasn't having that bit. I was going, oh, come on, do me a favour. And I've spoken freely on, I think it was with Simon and Jim about, Gareth's time, and they were sort of suggesting I was supporting him because I'm his mate and all that. I wasn't. I was just going how I think it was. I don't think there was radical change. I had a big debate with Simon about it on their show and said, look, I don't think there is radical change. Simon was saying there is, and he's a master tactician and that's fine, by the way. I've got no problem with people's comments because we're here now talking about it. But I did say on that show, I did say to Simon, I said, Simon, there's nothing radically changed here. If you cut through the noise and you go, in balance to that side of it, which I have been intrigued with, is I do think this is the best opportunity we've ever, certainly in my lifetime, I think it's the best opportunity we've ever had to win the World Cup. Not because we're amazing, but because the other superpowers are not as superpowered as what they were. France were flying. I think we're all shocked by that one because they were the ones who you thought, right, okay, they're what we think they should be, apart from their last game. And equally, you look at them and they are superpowered. And yet, you look at their last game and you go, what just happened there? So it is the World Cup. It's not easy to win a World Cup. Everyone sort of suggests it is, but it's not.
Yeah. And you said this could have been our opportunity. And I wonder if, during the course of the tournament, actually, we were getting lucky. You know, in the sense of the group, the way the pathway seemingly into the final opened up in front of us in specific games as well, against the Congo, for instance, where we needed Harry Kane to turn up in the last few minutes, against Norway, where they had a goal, you know, controversially rolled out.
No, I agree, Jeff. It wasn't free flowing, was it?
No.
Do you know what I mean? But I think we all recognise that. But we did mark. I mean, you know, I think the media has been really fair. I know it's all changed now because of the final result, or the last result, sorry, but I think it's been really fair, I must say. You know, obviously you as well, we've covered these World Cups, not always within the media from my point of view, but I've watched it, I've covered it, I've been involved in some of the talks with the players and who's going to the World Cup, who's not, and players I've worked with. I don't think we were... It's hard to explain. I think we're all fair enough, or certainly we are, people in the industry. I don't think when they're thinking we are bona fide finalists, we're going to win it. So it's not a major shock for us to get to the last four and not quite get there, because I didn't think we could win it. I was saying we'd win it because I wanted to be positive like the rest of the media were, and I think that's right and proper to do so. But I don't think we're shocked that we haven't won it. I think we're more shocked by the style in which we've gone out. I think that's the key thing, isn't it? You know, well, certainly from my point of view.
Yeah.
Winning any...
Are you shocked by the fact that at the moment Thomas Tuchel seems to be taking no responsibility for that defeat, that exit after the game? His first comments basically were, I have no regrets. And since then he says no structure in the world could have helped us. And now he's come out with the DNA comments, not on our DNA to take the ball and control the game, which is a big problem. They all seem to be pointing the finger at anyone but himself.
Well, like I said, I mean, you know, I try and, because I've got to be managed out, and it's not easy when things are against you, that's for sure. But he did say maybe about the DNA, didn't say it was a definite. Look, was it?
Well, why did he mention it at all?
No, that's fair. No, that's fair. That's fair, Jeff. That's fair. Yeah, I can't go too far, you know, to protect these people. But no, I mean that's too far. Saying about the DNA, just because I know that, you know, I worked in youth systems in our game. You know, from youth systems, worked through reserve coach, assistant manager. So I've seen the development in our game and how it's changed. Now I don't think that's right. Like I said, like we started with, the majority of these players are playing in teams that deal with the ball constantly. You know, if you look at virtually every player, they're playing in teams that deal with the ball, and they're always dealing with the ball, as in keeping possession, working with the ball, not just without the ball. I will say that 1-0 up, you know, it's not an easy thing. Which, you know, it's the old, you know, which way do you do it? You know, do you go full on attack? Do you go defensively? The biggest question for me, if you're going to go full on defensively, where's your outlet? So if you need an outlet, if you're going to do that. And the outlet for me, you'd be looking at Rashford, you know, because of his pace and he's direct running. And you know the thing that's
sorry, Scott.
We
scored a goal by having that outlet because we're already on the back foot. Then we score a goal with pace on the break, which is exactly what Egypt had done against Argentina.
Yeah, but it's becoming our game. It's like, you know, the old favourite, Jeff, when we were kids, you know, clear your lines. You know, that now is like, oh, you can't just do that. Why not? You know, you're trying to win the World Cup. For me, if you're going to go defensive, you need an outlet. And to get an outlet going, you've got to, you know, I call it playing for position, not for possession. So we could have defended out, but at an outlet where we do at times just lift it over their defence and we back them off. We back off the pressure, stop them coming. But it got to the point we're all sitting there, aren't we? We're all looking, going, this is going to change. Yeah. You know, the flow of traffic was only going one way.
Oh.
Yeah. That's the bit. Now, it's not as easy when you stand on the touchline, by the way, but that's why you have staff. That's why you have eyes in the sky. That's why you've got your analysts, you know, speaking to you, saying, look, the feel of this is changing massively. So if you can't see it and feel it when you're a manager, you've got all these specialists around you. It should be in your ear. You know, nowadays you have an earpiece with someone saying, look, this is just waiting for them to score.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you go down to and even it is the dark arts, Jeff, break the game up. Just break the game up. Stop the momentum. Do you know what I mean? You break the game up with tactical decisions. Break the game with, you know, like, I mean, if you've got a hydration break, let's have it right. That works in your favour. But, you know, just break the momentum of the opposition because we could all smell it coming. Yeah. And that's the most alarming thing for me.
We could smell it, see it, feel it. I think the same can be applied now to some of Thomas Tuchel's remarks, because I don't think he sees, feels or senses the anger that he's incurring in this country after that defeat. I saw it described as the worst 45 minutes in English football.
But I've got to say, though, Jeff, it is driving me a little bit balmy, because the same people who were lauding this guy were saying he's a tactical genius, what a guy, he's changed the feel, he's done this, he's done that. And then the same people and some big names in punditry and the media are now going, rubbish, you've got to get him out.
Yeah.
You go, well, he hasn't become a rubbish manager because of a bad decision or 3 or 4 decisions.
But enough of Simon Jordan.
I didn't name him.
Oh, you didn't.
I didn't name him. Did I just cross it and you just nodded it in? No, not just Simon. That's unfair. There's loads of people out there, loads of pundits, loads of writers are all going, he's got to go and all that. I'm going, hang on, you were lauding him. At least I was trying to give a bit of balance and saying, look, I don't think there's that radical change here, with him and Gareth.
Yeah.
I think Gareth was already on something, and then everyone wanted change there. But if you look at his history, he was on something. Now, Thomas came in, changed the feel, as they keep going on about what, because someone did a dance, because we sang Wonderwall. You know what I mean? There was no change of feel. Do you know what I mean? Let's have it right. You want to win the World Cup, that's the bit that you've got to change the feel, not all the rest of it.
Webbo says Tuchel should accept it was him. Just arrogance. So on the back page of the Times this morning, being reported that the FA will conduct a full review of England's World Cup campaign before providing a more detailed assessment of Thomas Tuchel's performance as a head coach. Well, don't waste your time, boys. You gave him a 2-year contract before the World Cup. No point in the review now, is there? We'll bring you more on that next.
He seems to be into the fact that it was kind of a premeditated idea by Gabriel Clark to ask a question in a divisive way. You know him, you've done this job, so what did you make of the interview and what do you make of all the fallout from it?
Well, straight after the interviews, I sent Gabriel a text and I said, a masterclass in the art of post-match interviewing. And I would stand by that now. Gabriel's not a sensationalist. He's not out for headlines. He will look you in the eye and ask a straight question. Having been in that situation, I think he might have been slightly surprised when Tuchel came and said we were poor and we didn't do this and we didn't do that. That might have surprised him slightly, and he threw the mentality line in that Tuchel bit his head off about. But those situations, you've got a limited amount of time. There's no way that you're going to go, I'm going to ask him this and wind him up here, and then I'll get Bellingham, and by the way, what a story that's going to be. That's not Gabriel. Gabriel's the best in the business at doing that by a considerable margin, and has been for many years. And when Gabriel put it to him, your manager wasn't very happy overall, and he shrugged his shoulders and said, whatever. Fine.
Do you think Gabriel could have qualified it a bit more? Maybe in hindsight, he thinks if he'd said the manager wasn't happy with performance, not in terms of effort, maybe in terms of quality, you can play better than that as a team.
I think you and everyone that's ever asked a question would look back and go, perhaps I could have asked that question a bit better. But in the heat of the moment there, in those bowels, when the adrenaline is still running, it was a straightforward, it was an honest bit of interviewing. It wasn't tricky. And I was thinking about it coming in here. There's been nothing from the England camp.
No drama, has there?
There's been nothing. There's been no fights. There's been no drunks. There's been no women. There's been nothing untoward. And I think a lot of people jumped on this. Here's a bit of division here, Bellingham and Tuchel, etc., etc. There's a bit.
Get ready to get that winning feeling with talkSPORT Win. This summer, talkSPORT is bringing you live and official coverage of every game of the FIFA World Cup 2026. And to celebrate, we're giving away £26,000 guaranteed. Go to win.talksport.com to enter now, and you could win 26 grand in your hand, tax-free. Enter now, and you could be the next to get that winning feeling, courtesy of TalkSport Win. Find out how to enter now at win.talksport.com.
Good morning, it's the World Cup Breakfast Show with Jeff Stelling and Sean Dyche. Bit of Black Sabbath. It's probably, is that right of your street?
Yeah, I love all that.
Yeah.
All the old rock, heavy rock.
Yeah, absolutely. Paranoid, we're playing that. It's not a tribute to Thomas Tuchel, by the way. We're playing it because it's the 77th birthday of their bass player, big Aston Villa fan, Geezer Butler. Geezer, happy 77th birthday, mate. Black Sabbath. That was more a sort of Deep Purple, man. I think we had this conversation before. You weren't really in both camps at the time.
AC/DC.
Yeah.
No?
But Deep Purple. Yeah, but I mean,
Motorhead.
This is before their time. Before
course.
the time of AC/DC. But it's in the time where Deep Purple were coming up with things like Black Knight and Smoke on the Water, things like that. They just edged it for me. You're in one camp, you're in the Black Sabbath camp, or the Deep Purple.
Led Zeppelin, of course. Led Zeppelin.
Oh, yeah, Zeppelin were great. But, you know, a bit more sophisticated, came a little bit later as well than those bands. But I'm a massive Zeppelin fan.
Music knowledge is good, Jeff. I'm impressed.
Only of that era, you know.
That era.
Yeah, as we'll find out later on when Blossoms come in. It's not quite so strong later. Anyway. So time running out for you to bag a massive 26 grand in our latest competition. Just imagine what you could do with that whopping amount. It's completely tax-free, by the way. You've only got a few days left. All you have to do is to head to talksportwin.com. Do it now. Okay, time for a look at the back pages with Costa Express.
The Costa Coffee Break on TalkSport, sponsored by Costa Express. Real beans, real milk, real signature taste.
And Laura Kirk-Francis is with us. Hi, Laura.
Morning, how are we doing?
Yeah, doing all right. Friday morning, how can we do anything but all right?
It'd be better if we were in the final, though, wouldn't it? We'd be feeling better. But what's done is done. The post-mortem continues, of course, on the back pages. There's lots of chat about Tuchel defending himself a little bit and maintaining that he is the right person for England. In the Daily Star, I'm your man. Tuchel wants a crack at the next tournament. The Mirror says, quotes from Tuchel, I'm still the right man, 100%. I'm the boss to take this team forward. He says, I'm happy. Both the Times and I reporting on the FA, who will be doing a review, of course, into Thomas Tuchel. But ultimately, they are backing him. And then the Telegraph also reporting on the fact that the players themselves were surprised by the tactics, which for me is pretty damning if you come out afterwards with that player reaction. There is some very, very strong language as well. Yeah. Michael Owen says we played like a pub team, and Ollie Holt in the Mail called it Neanderthal football, which feels very strong. Sean, is there a risk that we are going a bit over the top with this reaction?
Yeah, but that's standard, isn't it? You know what I mean? No, standard.
We've got papers to sell.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, it is over the top, I think, but I understand. It's. I mean, it's disappointment for sure. I'm not sure about anger because you've got to be careful here. This is 20 minutes of a game. Now, don't get me wrong, a massively important 20 minutes of a game, just to be clear. and what I think are poor decisions. I think a lot of people think are poor decisions, but always easy with hindsight, always.
Yeah. Lots of people, including Simon Jordan, calling for Tuchel to be sacked. Earlier, you mentioned, Sean, that you were putting on your manager hat to say something. Would you like to put on your manager hat again if we need a new England manager?
Oh, goodness me. I don't think I'm a hat in the ring. The only thing I'm ever going to get involved with is Eddie Howe. I don't understand. Well, apparently he wasn't spoken to. No. I'm amazed at that, because he knows the players like the back of his hand. He knows the league. He's gained his experience from working from the very bottom to the top. That's amazing to me.
Would he be your
Well,
pick?
so I was told.
Yeah.
I'm not sure 100%. But as far as I know, he wasn't spoken to.
And that's why the FA is coming out immediately and backing Thomas Tuchel, of course. Look, it was pretty instant. It was, an after-match grab from Mark Bullingham. And, of course, he's going to back his man because, their reputation is on the line. They're paying this bloke an absolute fortune to come in and change England's fortune, to make them winners. Well, if you look at Thomas Tuchel's record, in actual fact, he's anything but a winner. Keeps falling at the final hurdle. Won the Champions League, can never take that away from him. But while he was at Chelsea, he lost 2 FA Cup finals. He lost an EFL Cup final. He didn't get Bayern Munich to win the Champions League. Didn't get PSG to win the Champions League. So he keeps falling at the final hurdle. But they have to defend themselves because of the fact that they didn't speak to people like Eddie Howe. No, they spent the big bucks on bringing in a so-called elite manager who, in my view, has yet to prove he's an elite manager, whatever that may be. I mean, look, Vincent Kompany's won the Bundesliga twice with Bayern Munich. Is he an elite manager? Because that's more than Tuchel did with Bayern Munich.
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing that surprises me is when you're going about, well, ironically, he's talking about DNA, let's say. The system that we brought up with when we were coaches and doing all the coaching badges, with this idea that the FA were going to bring people through. So if you've seen someone right in front of your eyes with Eddie Howe doing the job he's done, then why wasn't he at least spoken? Well, so I'm told, I must keep saying that because I'm not 100% sure, but I don't think he was spoken to.
Yeah.
I just can't see that. And there's nothing against Tuchel. They made a decision. That's fine. You've got to appoint someone. But when you've got someone like Eddie just there right in front of your eyes, the journey he's been on from the bottom rungs of the ladder, taking teams who are, no money, all the rest of it. He's done the hard yards, as I call it. He's put the miles on the clock. You've got to be speaking to them guys for me.
If you are Eddie Howe, though, given the fallout that we've got from this tournament, if you're an ambitious manager, would you be looking at the England job as something that is still attractive as a proposition?
That's a fair shout, because I'm presupposing, of course, that he'd jump at it. Of course he might not.
Does he want to get involved with this?
Maybe the FA is too expensive. Because the Premier League pays very, very well.
Yeah.
And the job he's done at Newcastle, his salary might be so big, the FA have gone, look, we can't do that. I don't know the ins and outs of it, but that surprised me. Before this tournament, I spoke freely when Tuchel was appointed. Nothing against him as a person or any of that, but I just thought, why are you not speaking to him? And even if you look into the future, right? For me, privately behind the scenes, I think the FA can have someone on the background and go, look, your time will come. They already engage them in conversations about the future of the game and all that sort of stuff, and they just keep him warm in the background, so they're ready for when it's time.
You think those conversations are happening maybe now?
Well, I doubt they're happening. I'd be surprised they're happening now. I think that would be really crass. I was going to say, I think that would be really crass from the FA if they were in conversations now.
Yeah, we'll get 2028 out of the way.
Football, I've been through it myself where conversations go and suddenly someone else is appointed. I
don't think we'll be waiting to 2028 to get out of the way. I think the conversation will be happening. There's no doubt about that. And our next meaningful game, forget third and fourth place, next meaningful game is against Spain in the Nations League. Now,
it's not just
that's a big game for us, suddenly. It's a big game for Thomas Tuchel, that's for sure.
Yeah. And I think the other thing is, the idea of what we're probably not pushing aside, because there's a million debates, I'm sure we're going to have lots of them this morning. The squad that he took, before you even worry about tactics, there's some big decisions. I mean, I couldn't understand why Maguire wasn't there. With his experience, he's been around it. You could even argue the same for Shaw and people like that. You could even throw in the background with Kieran Trippier and people like that, because they've been there, seen it, and done it. It's not always they're going to play loads of minutes, but they know the job.
Obviously, Trent Alexander-Arnold comes into the discussion.
Yeah, of course, Trent.
As well. Adam Wharton certainly comes into that discussion as well. For
the experience level of some of the other
Cole
teams.
Palmer.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. But I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not easy. You can only pick so many. But on the defensive side, when that's been the biggest talking point, that was bizarre to me.
Just very briefly, because I know we're going to get shouted at shortly. Graham's text said, "Good morning. I understand what Sean's saying about English players playing in the Premier League. Look at the player rankings. Premier League player rankings for England's starting lineup against Argentina. Rice 3, Anderson 12, Gordon 25, Stones 35, Gahey 40, Pickford 55, Rodgers 64. Well, look, hands up, Graham. Thank you for that. I don't know whose rankings those are, but whoever ranks Morgan Rodgers as the 64th best player in the Premier League last season has been watching blindfold quite clearly.
Yeah, I got a second. Yeah,
we
need to know where that
I think they're Graham's rankings. Yeah. Thanks, Graham. Anyway, Laura, thank you very much indeed. And that was thanks to Costa Express. Coming up, we'll briefly turn our attention away from Thomas Tuchel. We'll head off to Royal Birkdale to look back at day one of the Open, which of course is live on talkSPORT 2. Very frustrating day with the putter in particular for Rory McIlroy. Can he turn it around? We'll discuss that next.
The Costa Coffee Break on talkSPORT, sponsored by Costa Express. Real beans, real milk, real signature taste.
To go, mate. I'm sorry, Jeff. Like, when we are paying £8 million for a foreign coach to come in and win us our first trophy since 1966, and that's what he does in a semi-final for an Argentinian side that were there for the taking, and to do what he did 10 times worse than anything Southgate's ever done negatively, I'm sorry, he has to go, mate. Simple as that. The FA have to make a decision, and I just didn't like his interview, the arrogance of his interview. No regrets. Yes, you have got regrets, mate. You've got regrets. There was loads of trouble after the game across the country. Everyone was together. And that's on you, Thomas Tuchel. That's on you. The negativity, cowardly tactics. You can't blame the players. I'm hearing people say, Jeff, that, the players on the pitch have got to make decisions. There's some experience. No, you listen to your coach. Your coach tells you to play a certain formation. You listen to him.
Yeah.
He has to go. Simple as that. No foreign coach has ever won the World Cup. Maybe for a reason. We've given it a go now again with a foreign coach, and that's what he's done.
I mean, Alan here has just tested the same sort of thing you were saying. So Tuchel's shortcomings have been exposed. What about the players' shortcomings? Well, look, the players, we've got 6 defenders on. We've got 4 central defenders on at the end for the cross that Messi puts into Laura Martinez. So, yes, I get that. But ultimately, the can has to be carried by the coach, especially with the negativity. I mean, look, everybody said this, but the negative. Anthony Gordon is flying. We scored a brilliant goal. Brilliant goal. You'll have loved, the fact that Kane, Declan Rice, who's soon to come off as well, Morgan Rodgers, and a lovely finish for Anthony Gordon. And Gordon's feeling 10 feet tall, so what do we do? Oh, we'll take him off.
We've all seen one of these before, right? The old heavy leather book. No, not that one. That one. Used in World Cups and football as a whole for years back in the day. It's a far cry from modern balls made from synthetic materials full of sensors for VAR and goal line technology. So when did the switch happen? Up until 1970, it was generally the rule of thumb that the host nation would provide the ball. The balls were always made from leather, usually with a vulcanized rubber interior, the same stuff they make tennis balls from. But in rainy and muddy conditions, the ball would absorb loads, and it was like playing with a brick. In 1970, Adidas were tasked with creating their first ball, and they came up with this icon, the Telstar. Despite its new, sleek look, it was a handful for goalkeepers and pretty unpleasant to head with. So in 1974, Adidas came out with the Telstar Durlast, the first synthetically coated ball that would be resistant to water and mud, and generally wouldn't wear as badly. The next major breakthrough came during the 2022 World Cup in Qatar, where Adidas placed an alien-like sensor in the middle of the ball, tracking every touch at 500 hertz to aid referees in offside decisions and handball calls. But in essence, it's the same ball developed by Adidas over 40 years ago.
Morning, very nearly 6:36, Friday, July the 17th. This is World Cup Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling, Sean Dyche and Arnold Clark. Browse the UK's best used car deals, score your dream car today. Check out their website for more details. Let's take a quick call. Can we consider Thomas Tuchel an elite manager after that England performance against Argentina? Lee, as a Chelsea fan, wants to have his say. Morning, Lee.
Morning, Jeff. Morning, Sean.
Morning.
So what do you think? Is Thomas Tuchel an elite manager, Lee? You've seen him win the Champions League with your club.
Yeah, I'm the Pope, Jeff. Yeah, he's about as much an elite manager as Di Matteo, who won the Champions League with us as well. And I'm not dissing Di Matteo for that. He was, he got put in the position then. The difference is with Tuchel, he believes he's God, I think. And I don't know. You've probably noticed that he gets upset and upsets his board wherever he's been. He has a row about it and starts blaming everyone else. Oh, what's he doing now? Oh, blaming everyone else.
Yeah. Well, obviously, ultimately, he had a big fallout at Chelsea, didn't he? Which is one of the reasons why.
I think, to be fair, if you're a manager, you do need.
Lee, thank you.
Yeah, you do need a bit of confidence, stroke arrogance.
Yeah.
Not in a nasty way, but you do need that if you're going to carry the weight of a country on your shoulders, like you have to when you're England manager. So I wouldn't never question that in a manager, but it's how far that where you draw the line, doesn't it? When it comes across as that mixture when it goes wrong. Obviously.
Yeah, if you look at the best managers, Pep, Mikel Arteta, Jurgen Klopp, they've all got that element of confidence, haven't they?
Yeah,
Mourinho,
yeah, very much so. Yeah, so you do need a bit of that.
Yeah. Look, let's take a breather from the World Cup inquest for a moment or two, because the Open Championship, we've just seen the first tee shot, actually, of the second morning at Royal Birkdale underway. The American Jackson Suber tops the leaderboard on 5 under. Yeah, Jackson who? Never been to Europe before this week. What an opening round from him. Tommy Fleetwood's 4 shots off the lead on his home course. He was asked yesterday whether his nerves were jangling on that first tee.
When you get to play in, I think you're obviously working to stay very present. So I actually did a pretty good job of that. I was enjoying the atmosphere and enjoying playing it. Yeah, it means a lot to me. And the first tee is a very special experience at an Open in Southport for me. And I was pretty nervous, to be fair, on the first tee. I said to Finno, so I'm normally after I'd hit my tee shot. I said I'm not first tees don't bother me that much. I'm always all right on the first tee, but I was pretty nervous today, just with excitement and stuff. But they've been great, and whether I play well or not, that's the thing, and that's what I'm very aware of. I don't want to miss out on the experience. It's been amazing so far, and the crowds are amazing, and it's really cool to play in front of everyone.
Big Evertonian.
Big Evertonian.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
Look, he's one of the most. I was going to say one of the most popular golfers. He's one of the most popular sportsmen in the country. It's easy to see why. He's got
he's a great fella. I've been over to Dubai to watch the Dubai, Classic or whichever one. There's 2 there, 2 big events, and he's always great there. You know, we went on a practice round and watched him and spent a bit of time with him. He's a great fella.
Fantastic. Let's get more on that first day and look ahead to the second day with talkSPORT's golf correspondent Rupert Bell. Morning, Rupert.
Morning, Jeff. Morning, Sean. Yes, great to see Tommy Fleetwood. He actually didn't play particularly well yesterday, but he sort of hung on in there, and I think that's the important thing for him because, you know, actually when you hear him saying, well, I am nervous, I know he's played in an Open Championship here before, back in 2017, but there is all the hype. And, of course, there is that question. He hasn't won a major before. But you're right about his popularity, and it doesn't matter where he plays. It's whether in Europe, in America, they love him in America as well, where, of course, he's achieved great success as well. But that elusive major, he's going to have to improve a little bit because it is possible to score well. But yesterday, a solid enough start.
Solid enough start for him. Obviously, attention on Rory McIlroy as well. Is he going to throw that putter away, do you think?
Well, I don't know. It was very deflating yesterday. The sort of air went out of the sort of balloon pretty early on from the crowd. And I was actually out on the course as part of our talkSPORT 2 coverage yesterday afternoon. And it felt a bit subdued. I don't know whether it was what happened the night before over in the States, but it was a sort of, and it was a warm day. The crowd never got really behind Rory because they could see he was struggling. But he's at 2 over par. What he needs now is to shoot a sub-par round. He'll be in at the weekend. The cut-off point at the moment is 1 over par, but I would expect him to play a little bit better. But this is the trouble with Rory. Sometimes he can just have a sort of bad patch, and then he's always playing catch-up. And how many times have we had to say that in Open Championships? A lackluster start, and then he has to sort of get the turbo out to try and get it back into contention.
Yeah. Look, I mean, good start for the likes of Morikawa and Bob McIntyre, Cam Young, the lovely Bryson DeChambeau, Scotty Scheffler 2 under as well. But what about Jackson Suber? I'm sure everybody is saying Jackson who?
I must admit, when I saying, oh, Jackson Suber, I'm thinking, who the heck is here? Well, I can tell you, he's, as you just mentioned, never been out of America, but he qualified through finishing 4th place in the Canadian Open. He got a spot that way. He's 26. His career has just been on a slow burn, but he's a great player tee to green. And yesterday, well, he'd only played 27 holes outside of North America, and those 27 were the 9-hole practice he played on, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, I think it was. And then suddenly he finds himself atop of the tree. He tees it up in an hour. I'm not necessarily expecting him to be leading at the end of the day. I just wonder when suddenly there might be an element of rabbit in headlights. Oh, my goodness me, I'm leading the Open. But you never know. And if he freewheeled it yesterday, had a bit of luck as well along the way. But you never know. He might be that surprise package that we see. But it often happens in the Open. You get a leader we all are just scratching our heads about and going, Jackson who in this case?
Yeah, no, you ever heard of him, Sean?
No, I haven't. No.
Not a surprise. I made the mistake of mentioning Justin Rose yesterday. Hey, Rupert, what a mistake that was. What a dreadful start for him.
Well, no, it's rather frustrating because he birdied the first hole. And then it sort of unravelled. He just never got going. So it may be that he's got too much ground to make up to make it through to the weekend. But he'll be wheeled on by the crowd, and it will be disappointing because obviously there's so much expectation on his shoulders when he comes to Birkdale because, you know, it's much repeated what happened in '98 when he was a 17-year-old. So I think he might be one who could be struggling to make it through to the weekend, which would be a little bit disappointing. But there are, you know, plenty. Bryson DeChambeau, you're lovely Bryson DeChambeau. I don't know, is he your? Do you like what he does on the golf course, Jeff? I got the hint there was a touch of sarcasm there, or am I misreading the situation?
No, I think you're spot on. In fairness, look, I mean, I'm not a member of his fan club, but on the other hand, he doesn't rile me as much as he riles some other people. And he does hit the ball a million miles, and when he's at his best, he's pretty spectacular. But he hasn't been at his best for quite a while, has he? And he and Nick Faldo won't be having a beer together, will they, shortly?
No, but Bryson DeChambeau did play well yesterday. He hasn't made a cut in any major this year, But I have to say, he did look as if he was enjoying himself, yes, and he could have been better because there were one or two putts that just slipped by for him. But I think most players could say that. And I tell you what, I watched Shane Lowry yesterday out on the course, and he was hitting the ball magnificently from tee to green. But I had a 4-putt on 14. He missed a 4-footer for a birdie on 10. He could be in much better shape. So Shane Lowry, if he can get his putter working, I think could be a player to keep an eye on over the next 3 days.
Rupert, thank you very much indeed. Sean, you big golf fan?
No problem.
I do like golf. I played just the other day with my coaching staff. Well, two of them, Ian Wone and Steve Stoner, they're very good golfers. I'm average at best. I'll describe my game as.
Yeah.
But I do love it.
They'd probably describe you as a bandit. Hey. Look, every shot of the Open at Royal Birkdale is live on talkSPORT 2. Easiest way to listen is to download the free talkSPORT app and swipe across to talkSPORT 2. Very quickly, Aaron says Thomas Tuchel's never been and never will be an elite manager. Won the Champions League with Lampard's team, and only because Pep mistakenly benched Rodri, I could win the league in Germany and France with Bayern or PSG. David Matthews says, you say Tuchel isn't elite and not a winner because he's only won the Champions League, yet you say Arteta is one of the best managers, beggars belief. Listen back, David, you hear me say Arteta was one of the best managers? No, you didn't. You heard me say he has that sort of arrogance about him, that swagger about him, along with the likes of Pep and Jurgen Klopp. Those words never crossed my mouth, but don't let that worry you too much. And Graham, who came on with the Morgan Rogers, ranked 64th in the Premier League last season, has come back to explain. I got the rankings from StatMuse, recognised worldwide as a provider of sporting stats, and he's come up with an explanation, and I accept the explanation, and I think they're totally wrong, Graham, just in my opinion. If he was the 64th best player in the Premier League last season, well, I'd love a list of the other 63. No, I wouldn't. I'm only joking. Look, still to come on breakfast.
Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. Spend £100 or more with a Travis Perkins trade account and you could win a brand new Ford Ranger. T's and C's apply.
Yeah, the inquest goes on into England's ill-fated World Cup semi against Argentina. We'll continue to dissect whether Tuchel should survive his FA review with one of his former players, Lewis Holtby. And could this World Cup be Jordan Pickford's last, as suggested it should be last night by Rory Jennings? If I was Jordan Pickford, that would make me even more determined to keep going. Ex-England keeper Ben Foster answers that and much more when he joins us for the final 2 hours of the show. And that was our breakfast preview with Travis Perkins.
Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. Spend £100 or more at any Travis Perkins Hire or Benchmarks branch as a trade account holder and you could win a brand new Ford Ranger. T's and C's apply.
I wonder whether he went back, muscle memory, whether he's gone back to what happened against Mexico, where we dealt with 5 at the back and it threw things. But this ain't Mexico.
There's 20 minutes left.
It's
20 minutes of normal time, Jace.
It's more than that.
And we had a man sent off against Mexico. You could almost accept it.
I know.
You're playing against Argentina.
Yeah.
You can't sit off for 25 minutes against Argentina. He absolutely bottled it. Thomas Tuchel's cost us the World Cup. He cost us the World Cup. We're 1-0 up. Played well first half. All right, cagey affair. We go 1-0 up. Be brave. Be brave, Thomas. This is what we brought you in for. We brought you in for this moment. We got rid of Southgate because he bottled it, because he weren't brave. We brought you in for now to make that decision. We're 1-0 up in a World Cup semi-final. Bring on Rashford. Bring on Saka. And if they score, they score. But at least we're going to go down fighting. At least we're going to go down with some pride. We fell out of the World Cup in disgrace because of him. Because of him. And we brought him in for this job. This is what we brought him in for, to get us over this line. And it's the same old England, same old crap, same old guff that I have to watch every tournament that we're in. And it's the manager's tucked us up again.
tucked us up. We're dead on our feet. Got Morgan Rogers playing right wing, Jude Bellingham on the left. Brings on Nico O'Reilly. We can't get out. Harry Kane's done nothing. He's dead. Nothing. Got nothing left.
I don't.
I can't believe it, Jace.
Well, no.
Jace, I can't believe it.
No,
It's a disgrace.
He
should be sacked. Get him out. Gone.
I totally agree. I can't believe that we've moved on from Southgate.
Hello, I'm Matt Forden from talkSPORT. This is How to Win the World Cup.
This is the best squad I think England have ever had.
He used to love America, now he doesn't. It's very sad.
It was so important to succeed because of all the pressure we received.
Don't jump for this one, I'm going to knock his head off.
Warning, this podcast does not guarantee England will actually win anything.
Good morning, this is World Cup Breakfast. I'm Jeff Stelling Sean Dyche is with me. Steve Evans is listening as well. He's just texted me. Sean says, brilliant take on it from Sean. Agree with all the words. Best chance to win the World Cup. Those players can't handle the ball. Do me a favour. Steve, thanks, mate. Hope you're enjoying your summer. Well, it's over now, isn't it? Another season coming up. Headlines this Friday morning. The England Rugby Union team will move out of central Buenos Aires to avoid being caught up in the chaos caused by Argentina's World Cup final appearance on Sunday. The teams meet on Saturday. Good luck, boys. That's going to be tasty and spicy, isn't it? L'Equipe are reporting that Michael Olise has told his French teammates that he wants to leave Bayern Munich to join Real Madrid. And England manager Thomas Tuchel has blamed England's lack of DNA and keeping the ball as to why they went out of the World Cup to Argentina. A number of players were left disappointed reportedly at how the team approached the final stages of the game. talkSPORT's Simon Jordan was clear on his thoughts yesterday.
In this tournament, we didn't play well again. Besides a 20-minute period against the Croatians, we had key decisions in the major game, the one game on paper that we didn't have a right to win. We didn't win again, so the same malaise as Southgate. We've got a manager that doesn't... But I think the players, and you'll never hear me say this very often, I think the players are owed an apology by the manager by the decisions that he made, because I think he let the players down.
Owed an apology by the manager? That's never going to happen, is it? You ever known a manager apologise to his players?
I would think not.
No.
I don't think that's going to happen. And I had a big debate with Simon about Tuchel, actually. So this interesting to how he's changed his view considerably, I would suggest, the debate he had with me.
I mean, in defence of Simon, he is not alone in changing his view about Tuchel.
Oh, goodness me, you're so right. Yeah, and that is, it's tough. I mean, look, we all get the debate, and we're debating it now.
Yeah.
But some of the people coming out, I'm like, goodness me,
Yeah.
the complete opposite.
No.
And you go, come on.
Ian's just texted me. He says, Tuchel brought in as an elite manager. He's as elite as my wife. She never watches football, but even she was saying they need to change the tactics. Why they're defending in the penalty area? Go back to playing the way they were. So, Ian, your wife, has she got her application in for the next England manager's job?
Oh, that's how easy it is, though. You just stand on the sidelines and go, yeah, we can all see this. It's that easy.
OK, the Ginger Gang are back together. Laura Kirk-Francis is back with us for a bit
African
of this.
sunset, Jeff, mine is. It's African sunset. And I did say last time I was there. I love this. It's the Italian word for it, Zenzero.
That sounds better.
I mean,
than
that
ginger,
sounds.
does
I know
it?
that
It
sounds
yeah.
brilliant. But it's
Also,
Zenzero.
Ginger Gang is awful.
I know.
The least intimidating gang you'll ever meet. I think. Ginger Gang, my word.
Come on, Gingers, get on with it. What have we
Right. Well, Jeff, you've just mentioned it there. Across the world of sport, we can't really escape Argentina. So England rugby moving hotel to avoid these celebrations potentially. And I don't know if you caught this at the Open yesterday. Argentinian golfer Matteo Puccini sunk an incredible putt from about 40 feet and then cupped his ears, mocking or celebrating the Enzo Fernandez to the camera celebration. So wherever we go at the moment, we can't escape Argentina. But the Sun have led with 5 reasons why we should support Spain on Sunday. Are you ready to hear these? Apart from you, Jeff, because I think you've got maybe a bit of skin in the game, maybe some money on Argentina winning.
Skin in the game.
Exactly. None of these are about football, of course. The first one is simply they're not Argentina. Point well made. The beer is great. Dyche, you a fan of Spanish beer?
I'm a fan of all beer.
All beer. All beer.
By the way, the beer in Argentina is pretty good, and it comes in humongous size bottles.
Oh, really?
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
No, Jeff, that's not what we're doing here. That's not what we're doing.
Sorry.
This is about Spain. The next one is Benidorm is better than Buenos Aires.
Oh, God.
I'm not quite sure on that one.
Yeah. Look, we're really scraping the barrel here. And then finally, which I think is the most compelling one, tapas. Now, Sean, we know that you love your curry. Are you partial to some tapas
I
as
am.
well?
I
yeah.
like
What do you like?
stuff,
Do you like your food? Yeah. What kind of tapas do you like? What's your tapas order if one can have a tapas
Do you know
order?
I love pork belly? Pork belly when it's really crispy. And,
Yeah.
So you're playing the tapas card for Spain.
Correct.
Okay, I will raise you with steak for Argentina.
I will raise you. Sangria is better than Malbec.
Rubbish.
No, it is.
Seriously.
I'm sorry, Cannibal.
So
Sorry.
Argentinian red wine is simply the best.
Patatas bravas are better than empanadas.
No.
No.
This is tough,
This is tough, actually, isn't it?
Yeah.
Does that not convince you that you need to support Spain?
No. Added to the fact that I backed Argentina at 10-1 before the tournament started.
Yeah.
So, actually the Stelling household is sitting pretty because my wife backed Spain.
I did think that was unbelievable.
Hedged your happiness.
We have hedged our happiness.
Very good
We
tactic.
can't lose.
Yeah.
On the show the other day with the betting, I was surprised but amazed actually. The top 4 made the top 4 as in the World Cup, and it was 100-1.
Wow.
Get the top
really?
Top 4, yeah. I thought that was. I mean, I'm not into betting on football, quite obviously.
And by the way, I know who's written this. Benidorm better than Buenos Aires. It's not better than Bognor Regis.
I mean, their argument is that it's closer, which is, I mean, it is.
Well, it is closer.
It is closer. I mean, you could be by the beach, Benidorm, with a pint in hand in a few hours. 16 hours to fly to Buenos Aires. I'm sold. Go Spain.
I'm thinking Spanish beer as well. It's a lot of it's made, geographically wherever it is. So it'd be made in like Carlsberg in Northampton.
Yeah, but you slap a nice San Miguel logo on it, and we're all drinking Spanish beers. So those are your reasons. So it's not Argentina.
San Miguel, that's a nice.
San Miguel, Benidorm's better than Buenos Aires, and tapas are better than steak.
That's okay. So if there's anybody from a holiday company listening now, and they're going to come on Laura and say, "Hey, Laura, we'll give you your choice. We're going to take you for a couple of weeks in Buenos Aires or a couple of weeks in Benidorm. You're going to go to Benidorm, correct?"
I absolutely am, because I don't think anything worse than being in Argentina if they've won the World Cup as an English person. So yes, please, I'll go to Benidorm over Buenos Aires. Not sure.
Benidorm, okay.
Thank you very much indeed for that, Laura. Is that it?
Denada.
Good from you.
Excellent. We see you a bit later on. Thanks, Laura. Lots of texts coming in, and Craig says, Jeff, what defending? Not one of them defended. And there were 5 of them. I think, Craig, there were probably 6 of them, actually, in the end. If Tuchel told them to, why didn't they? Did you feel there was... We talk about maybe Thomas Tuchel panicking, to what degree of panic did you see in that England back 4, back 5, back 6, whatever it was by the end?
I mean, the psychology of football, it's not always about the manager. I've got to defend him on this one because the players are out there, right? They're delivering a performance. The psychology of football is very difficult to break down when you're in such a big game. You're 1-0 up, they're on top, you can feel it. But changing it when you're on the pitch, of course, it's the manager's responsibility. Of course, I'm well aware of that. But when you're out there as a player, you have a responsibility to change it as well. And it's hard because they get deeper and deeper and they sink and they sink. And that's when you're inviting trouble, especially against the top teams and the top players. Mm-hmm. Obviously, I'm not an international manager, but I've been in the Premier League a long time. And they can overwhelm you with how the game goes. The argument I would make is it's jumping off the page at you. Wherever you're watching that game, everyone can smell it coming, apart from seemingly the people on the pitch and the manager. That's the bit that I was frustrated with because that is your responsibility as a manager. When you've got to make the big decisions, you've got to do it on the right time. And with hindsight, as I said, I know it's easy, but it was just jumping off the page at everyone. And that was my frustration. When you change it, what you're changing it for, but what you're looking to get out of it. At some point, you've got to take the pressure off. That was the key to it for me, taking the pressure out of the game, as in their overwhelming pressure, as they're going to score or trying to score. How many different ways can you break the game and break their momentum? And the obvious one is a form of attack. Now, not full-out attack, but put players on the pitch with that nature, where they're, for me, Rashford and even Watkins, Ollie Watkins, he'll run long, he'll change the feel of the game. You can just clear your lines, as they used to say, get someone out there, get them running, and just break the momentum of the game. And I think that was the frustration.
Poor Ollie Watkins, he must have wished he'd been spending a summer in Benidorm rather than in the States, because he's barely had a sniff, has he? Coming up, we'll turn our attention back to the FA reviewing Thomas Tuchel's position as England boss, whether he can lead us into the next Euros after questioning England's DNA. That's next.
Wow. Performance of the tournament. France absolutely didn't do anything.
Had
a nightmare performance. Yeah, whimper without no fight. But Spain, wow. That was watching Pep Guardiola's Barcelona, that was. The way they were popping that ball past France to death. France couldn't handle the passing style of Spain. They weren't pressing as a team. You saw a team there in Spain, and you saw France with superstars that all had a nightmare of a game. And very poor performance from France. I'm sure they're going to be getting a lot of stick. Luckily, we got Emmanuel Petit on at the end of the show, and he's going to be thinking to himself, didn't see that coming.
I couldn't stop thinking about Manu last night.
Yeah,
I thought, oh my, even the show yesterday, I felt that we had such a build-up in favour of France. Have we completely underestimated Spain?
We've underestimated them, but rightly so, in the sense of their performances in this tournament. They haven't performed to the level they did last night. Sometimes we talk at start of tournaments that it's not about how you start a tournament, it's how you end them. And Spain have proved that, drawing 0-0 to Cape Verde, and some of their performances haven't been exciting. Even the win over Portugal wasn't their greatest performance.
Yeah.
But they've kept their best form for the semi-finals, so it's going to be a scary final, whoever plays Spain. Because the way Rodri and Fabian Ruiz controlled that game, Cucurella looked like the best left back in the world last night. The way he kept Elise quiet, that was a shadow of Elise we've seen this whole tournament. Dembele, Mbappe, Barcola, Doué, they had nothing for an organised Spanish side.
Really, I was in shock.
Yeah.
I think a lot of us just couldn't believe what and we shouldn't be, because it's Spain. They're the current European champions.
In a century of World Cups, it's not just the football that's changed. Stadiums have gone from concrete behemoths to technological marvels, and the giant monolithic arenas help to define tournaments. Back in 1930, the world embraced its greatest spectacle for the first time. Uruguay was the host, and in just 90 days, they built a stadium that's still there today. It was a gargantuan effort to pull together the 90,000 capacity Estadio Centenario, one of only 3 venues for that tournament, that would act as a monument to 100 years of Uruguayan independence. If that was the World Cup's birthplace, Mexico City's Estadio Azteca became its cathedral. Some of the World Cup's most iconic moments happened on this grass, including this, of course. Also, both Pelé and Maradona lifted the trophy in the Azteca. A bit of pub quiz ammo for you there. You're welcome. In England, there's no more special place to us than Wembley, the scene of our greatest triumph And yes, it definitely was a goal. Some incredible stadiums across the world have hosted matches, but you don't have to have a modern-day spaceship of a ground to make it memorable. Take 2006, for example, and here. The memories of what happened at Berlin's Olympiastadion show events on the pitch can elevate a stadium in the minds of fans worldwide. But that doesn't stop us from marvelling at modern triumphs of engineering. Let's jump ahead to Qatar and take a look at this, the Lusail Stadium. This gorgeous golden bowl hosted the frankly unbelievable final in 2022. But that's not where it ends in Qatar. Take Stadium 974, for example. This place was built from shipping containers and can be taken down and built somewhere else. Mad. It's crazy to think that we've gone from building giant concrete bowls to what is basically modern art. To be fair, some concrete bowls, like the Maracanã, are art in its most flawless form. The teams and the players are why we all come, but sometimes the stage they perform on ends up being the main character. And with structures like this, it's hardly a surprise.
Morning, 6 minutes past 7. It's Friday, July the 17th. This is World Cup Breakfast. I'm Jeff Stelling. The former Watford and Burnley, Everton, Nottingham Forest manager Sean Dyche is alongside me. Needless to say, thousands and thousands of texts again today. If you are going to text, by the way, always appreciate them. Just put your name on. Morning, guy, says Kev the Gooner. Woke up this morning still feeling down. Been listening to everyone call Arsenal bottle jobs for years. That's what England are. Especially the manager. Get a manager in who'd rather die on his sword than hide in the corner. It's a cup competition. Go for it. Thanks, Kev. Thank you very much indeed for that. On the way for you this morning, we'll, of course, continue to ask whether there really is a DNA problem in English football, as suggested by Thomas Tuchel. Former England goalkeeper Ben Foster's with us between 8 and 10. Can't get away from the England headlines once again. Across the back pages this morning, believe you me, it'll be the same tomorrow morning as well. The Sun, we played like a pub team. Thoughts of Michael Owen. The Mirror, I'm still the right man. Tuchel to plead with the FA to keep his job. And the Times, Tuchel facing review. Simon Jordan, a long-time admirer of Tuchel, completely rode back on his confidence in the German yesterday, insisting he should be sacked. An opinion not shared by former England captain Stuart Pearce.
I think it's a ridiculous statement, if I'm being honest. What happens was, I remember Simon saying that Southgate's a born loser and Tuchel's a born winner, you know what I mean? So somewhere down the line, I said before the tournament, when you go to tournaments are quite unique, and it probably takes you a tournament to understand the runnings of them and whatever. No matter how much club football you've got, going to a tournament is slightly different. And for me, it would be like throwing the baby out with the bathwater at this stage. You know, he's had a tournament, he gets to understand the runnings of a tournament. I think from his perspective, I think he'll gain from that.
And I would say, just on the basis of texts that we're getting, Stuart's in a minority. Robin Grimsby said, "Hi guys, great show. We paid Thomas Tuchel £5 million when in reality we may as well hand Sean, may as well put Sean in charge on a fraction of the money." Not sure about that fraction of the
I've
money
got to be
bit.
honest, I'm reassuringly expensive.
Yeah.
Just to make sure that you're aware of that.
Rob says, let's have it right. My nan would get that team to a semi-final. It's an unbelievable squad. So, will Thomas Tuchel get time? Let's bring in talkSPORT reporter Max Scott for the very latest. Morning, Max.
Yeah, good morning. So, look, as we know, the FA are going to conduct a full review before providing a more detailed assessment of Thomas Tuchel's performance. Nevertheless, we understand he does retain the FA's full backing. So, I want to just zoom in a little bit. Let's start with some of the concerns the FA may want to raise with Tuchel about that semi-final performance. Between the 66th and 84th minute, England completed 2 passes. From the 55th minute, after Gordon's goal, England had 12% possession. The only team with a lower percentage possession in the same time frame was Qatar. They had 11% in a game they lost 6-0 and had 9 men. It's the 4th time in a World Cup knockout match where England scored first and lost. England had 5 shots in that game, the fewest in a World Cup match in 60 years. England have lost 7 straight World Cup matches now to top 10 opposition. They haven't won a World Cup knockout match against a former winner since 66. And the FA might be concerned about those comments that have come up that he said in the 24 final of the Euros, England were too afraid to. They look more afraid of it going out than excited about winning.
And saying about Gareth didn't go for it type thing.
Yes, and you could argue that that's exactly what happened maybe in that semi-final. I think they're quite clear negatives, but there are some that I want your opinion on, boys, about it. Will the FA see this as something that Tuchel maybe failed in? What do you make about the way that Tuchel generally in this tournament has handled the media?
The hardest thing is this for me, being a manager, or, being in the game. This guy was being absolutely lauded for the simplicity of saying he told him at half-time to take the brand break off against Croatia. Lauded by all, like it was a moment of genius. And then now he's been absolutely thrown under the bus for everything. Do you know what I mean? I'm surprised, the price of a pint, I'm surprised not being blamed for that. So I'm a bit trying to be balanced. And don't get me wrong, of course, there's decisions that would jump in off the page. I've already said that. I'm sitting there like everyone else screaming at the TV like you do. Yeah. But hang on a minute, you can't be a genius, 4 games ago, 5 games ago, and then you're not a genius. Or at least there's got to be some more balance than that.
Yeah.
And that's the bit I don't like about it. And now I know, look, I've covered the World Cups as a fan, for many years, like we all have. The bigger picture frustration for me is why laud this guy so much just to knock him down. And I know that's standard sort of fare for us. Yeah. But I think the media have been really fair, actually, over this World Cup en masse. Giving the team a break from it and almost backing them and supporting them rather than questioning everything until this moment. Now, maybe they've just been waiting for the chance to pile in. But you can't be a genius in that first game for saying, take the handbrake off.
Yeah.
And then now you haven't got a clue what you're doing.
Yeah.
That's not right. That can't be how football works. It's just, I know it's modern state of affairs with the media view and all that. I'm doing it. I get it. But that can't be that extreme. This guy's not suddenly, you can't be a genius and then suddenly you ain't got a clue what you're doing. That's just not the reality.
And just briefly, Max, it doesn't matter how he handled the media. It's completely irrelevant. If he's won the tournament, he can handle the media any way he wants.
Yeah. Jeff, I've got to say, and don't get me wrong, I still stand by what I'm saying, that we're all screaming at the TV. I certainly am, about the decisions. But if we do see that through, now I wouldn't say that everyone says a tactical genius, but all we have to do is win it. Well, that sounds really easy now. It's not, of course. You get my point, though. Yeah. If we win that, everyone goes, not tactical genius. We go, yeah, they saw it.
They got the job done.
Yeah, they got
like
the
they
job
did against
done.
Mexico, like they did against Norway.
And
but bear in mind, we were minutes away from going out against DR Congo, So people who say, we only had to hang on a few more minutes, and people would have perceived it differently. Yeah, DR Congo only had to hold on a few more minutes, and people would have certainly seen that very differently as well.
I think it shows that what we've been saying throughout the tournament, that England are a team of moments, because it was booked for a couple of moments for Argentina that England would have got through, and you just said, well, England did the job. Fair enough about the media, and Jeff, I take your point. It doesn't really matter if he's winning games. So what about the squad selection? There's lots have been made, whether it's about not playing Kobbie Mainoo, whether it's about whether Saka was right for the squad because of his fitness, whether Jordan Henderson should have gone, and then, of course, the players that didn't go. Lewis Hall, Harry Maguire, etc. Do you think the FA will have big
Maguire's a big one
that?
For me, I think. I was really surprised by that. You could even throw in Shaw in there, with his experience. You could even throw in, I know he's my mate, but Kieran Trippier. Do you know what I mean? just because he's coming towards the end of his career doesn't mean he's not experienced, doesn't mean he can't handle it, because he can.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying these are first name down on team sheet, but to come around the group, I think would have been, well, for me, it would have been a no-brainer. Especially Maguire, I think that was one for me that would definitely have gone.
Yeah. The biggest squad issue for me was that went in a Livramento, who, was taken, and he's a good player, I like him a lot. When he was injured and had to go home, the obvious choice was to bring in Trent Alexander-Arnold.
Yeah.
Absolutely obvious.
Yeah, it's a fair shout, of course.
And yet he brings in Trevor Chalobah, who is not a full-back,
Yeah.
who is never going to start as a full-back for England. You may as well not have brought anybody in. But Thomas Tuchel gave, I think I'm right in saying, Trevor Chalobah his senior debut when he was at Chelsea. It was a choice of convenience rather than one which regarded how big a tournament this is.
Do you know? Not only that, Jeff, because I think it's a valid point, massive valid point, actually. So yes, the squad. The bit that I didn't say anything, which is a bit unfair, right? Because I try and protect manager. I wanted England to win it. I didn't like the Bellingham thing, me. I didn't enjoy that. There's something that wasn't right for me. I'm not blaming him, but the moment when he comes out and he says them odd things straight after the game, and then and then when he has a chance to calm down, he still sort of doubled down on it. That for me was, there's something there wasn't.
Are you talking about after the Norway game?
Yeah, it was sort of parked a little bit, and I parked it as well because I didn't want to get involved because I want them to win the World Cup, and I know from being inside of that sort of situation, not in World Cup football, but as a manager, them things can lead to something. They can blow up.
What did you like about it?
Well, I was calling on the show to park it. I said, let's park that. Well, the whole feel of it was like odd comments, not from the manager. I thought the manager's comments were fair, actually. I thought they were excellent. But Jude Bellingham, I thought they were odd comments, and I wonder, I don't know yet. I mean, I know some people in the camp, but I haven't got involved with that. Step away from it, leave them to do their work. But in the cold light of day, I wonder, whether in the camp there was some, murmurings. Do you know what I mean? Because it was just an odd thing to say.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of history between Tuchel and Bellingham, all stemming from the comments he made on talkSPORT about Tuchel saying his mum found Jude's behaviour repulsive at times. And maybe we've got to be fair to Tuchel, this was something that was maybe lost in translation a little bit, but I think probably fair to say the damage was done at that point, and they've got. But it seems
I'm not saying
they've gone on a bit of a rebuilding.
Hang on. I'm not saying damage. I'm not saying that.
I'm saying that.
Yeah, I'm just suggesting it didn't sit right with me. I thought, you don't want that, and I was amazed. Some of the players going, you want a bit of spark from these players. I was like, trust me, you don't.
Can you understand it from his perspective, though, whereby if you've been told that all your manager has said is that he didn't like the performance when you've scored another really a brace for your country in what feels like 44-degree temperatures in a quarter-final for 120 minutes.
No, but the first bit, I don't think I'm on about that. When you come off the pitch, right, I have to do it as a manager. You get the microphone put in straight in front of you. That's not easy. Yeah. Whether you're a player or a manager or a coach or whatever. But then, afterwards, when you got time to just calm down a little bit, then it was like an odd sort of comment, you know what I mean? An odd feel to his comments. Not the comments. Look, every player's nowadays, never more than ever. Yeah. Sorry. Players can have a say. But I just,
there's a bit of spice in it.
Well, just underbelly of a feel, which I wonder in the camp whether there was a little bit of that going on. Do you know what I mean? I just didn't think it was that helpful.
And some of the comments since then have come out from the players about the tactics in that.
Yeah.
Suggest exactly the same thing.
Do you think that'll influence the FA's decision about, Tuchel retains their backing, but if they get the sense that some of the players are really unhappy with certain elements of Tuchel's decision-making, is that enough, do you think, to sway them?
Well, look, I've just come out of a club with a similar sort of scenario, so let's have it right. That's the way football is changing, and managing that is changing. Managing players having a voice, managing everyone bombarding the player, it's not your fault. It's not the players, by the way, but, people are bombarding players now. It's not your fault, it's not your fault, it's not your fault. Protect yourself. Do you get what I mean? So that's how the industry is changing.
Yeah.
But that is all part of the management job. That is all part of the FA and the manager, Tuchel, and his staff to manage that. That's just the way the game's going. So you are expecting players to be more outspoken than they've ever been because that's the way it's going.
Yeah.
Max, thank you very much indeed.
Cheers, Jeff.
Up next, your chance to get your questions in for Sean. Send a voice note to us. 03717 223344 is the number. Dial up Dyche coming next.
couldn't get anywhere near Spain, could they, in the midfield? Do you think that the manager should have made a change at half-time? Maybe Digne come off for Hernandez, and also maybe an extra midfielder come on for an attacker?
Well, the fact that Rabiot left at the half-time because he received straight away, yellow card. He was probably our best player on the pitch for the first 45 minutes. But anyway, you could have changed the entire team, against Spain in halftime. It would have changed nothing. So I think we looked so nervous, so far away from our level. Tactically and technically, we were so poor. Credit to Spain. They really deserve to win. They play really well. I thought that we were different with what happened, 4 years ago, but it was kind of the same game, and they control everything. We had no inspiration, no creativity, no personality, and it was so sad to watch them because I had the feeling watching the game that it was kind of the same game against Morocco, but...
Do you know what was baffling me, Emmanuel, was whenever you won the ball back, just give the ball away cheaply. Everybody was. No shots on target.
We were so far away from each other, Yeah. So, I think tactically we lost the game, but technically as well, we were so poor, But we looked so nervous. So I still don't understand what happened yesterday. There's so many things that we're missing in that game, and that's why I think we should get over it and still work on it. And but Spain are still our worst enemy, actually, and it was a lesson of football yesterday, to be honest with you.
Ready to get that winning feeling with talkSPORT Win. This summer, talkSPORT is bringing you live and official coverage of every game of the FIFA World Cup 2026. And to celebrate, we're giving away £26,000 guaranteed. Go to win.talksport.com to enter now, and you could win 26 grand in your hand, tax-free. Enter now, and you could be the next to get that winning feeling, courtesy of talkSPORT Win. Find out how to enter now at win.talksport.com. Open Championship update on talkSPORT with Arnold Clark. Buy a used car and get a free 2-year service plan.
Good morning. This is World Cup Breakfast on talkSPORT. I'm Jeff Stelling Sean Dyche is with me. Every shot of the Open is live on talkSPORT 2 right now. Let's get an update of how it's going with talkSPORT's golf correspondent at Royal Birkdale, Rupert Bell. How have the early starters fared then, Rupert?
Well, not too badly. It's a chillier morning than it's been all week here at Birkdale. And Matt Wallace, the Englishman, has picked up a birdie to get to 2 under par. He's now playing the third hole, so a good solid start from him. The overnight leader, Jackson Suber, well, he's walking to the first tee as we speak. And he starts at 5 under after his brilliant 65 in his first tournament round outside of North America. But key tee times today to keep an eye out. Bob McIntyre will be teeing up just after 12 o'clock at 12:25 at 3 under par. And also going off later on this afternoon, Bryson DeChambeau. Could be a dangerous serious contender this week. He's been playing well. He tees it up at 3:04. Now, Rory McIlroy, who's 7 back, and there's a key stat which suggests Rory McIlroy's hope of winning a second Clarence Jug is not going to happen because in the last 45 stagings of the Open, only Mark O'Meara here in 1998 was able to win from more than 5 shots back. Rory McIlroy teeing up this afternoon. Well, he starts 7 back, so he needs something spectacular to delight the huge galleries here later on today.
Thanks very much indeed, Rupert. I'm sure anything Mark O'Meara can do, Rory McIlroy can do. Time now for our next coffee break with Costa Express.
The Costa Coffee Break on talkSPORT, sponsored by Costa Express. Real beans, real milk, real signature taste.
Hello? Hold on, recording, silencio, s'il vous plaît.
They looked at my voice box because every special I see goes, you want to check that? Magic. That's woke nonsense.
As we have the legend Sean Dyche in the studio with us, we thought we'd bring back the feature Dial Up Dyche, where you, the listeners, get the opportunity to ask Sean, well, whatever you like, really. So, Sean, the listeners have been sending in their questions. Let's hear a few of them. Here comes the first one.
Hey, Sean. It's Dan here. I know you love rock and indie music, but I just really want to know what's your guilty pleasure, mate?
What's your guilty pleasure musically?
I was going to say, yeah, lots of guilty pleasures, but music, I'm pleased you cleared that one up. Dan, my guilty pleasure would be 80s, like, the turn of the 80s, sort of that new romantic. Yeah. Yeah, I like all that, yeah.
Sort of Spandau Ballet.
Yeah, you got it, yeah. Okay. So that would definitely be mine. Duran Duran, Rio, my favourite 80s song.
You shouldn't be guilty about pleasures like that.
No, but you get what I mean. No, but it's not. Well, it's cool now again, of course, the 80s.
Yeah.
We remember the 80s, Jeff, right? And do you remember they said it is the worst generation of music, and now people laud it, saying it was absolutely breakthrough music. So
always the way.
Brilliant bands.
Time changes everyone's perception. I've got a real guilty pleasure. Real guilty musical pleasure. Westlife. Massive.
I don't think that's guilty though, because they are, they're unbelievable at what they do. I mean, the other one said, obviously, people who know me, I've had a joke about Taylor Swift. I know a bit about Taylor Swift and I like some of her music. So, I've had a joke about that before, because the fifth, I think this is right, the 5th song on every one of her albums is her favourite song.
Is it?
It's always the 5th song. Yeah.
So when you listen to an album, you always listen to the 5th song first, do you?
Well, that's in theory, yeah, because that's her favourite song.
Oh, right.
And I bought this up and I got, a bit of stick about it, but I thought it was funny.
Brilliant. Let's have the next one.
Hi, Sean. Patrick here from the lovely county of Kerry in Ireland. I'm going to a sushi restaurant for the first time. What would you recommend?
Well, so you was a lover of sushi?
Yeah, why not? Yeah, I like all foods, really. India's my go-to.
Yeah, we know. We know.
Of course, yeah. Let's get that one out there again. But no, I do like sushi, yeah. I think it's an acquired thing, though. A mood thing. Yeah. I think sushi's very much a mood thing for me, but I do like sushi, yes.
Yeah, got a favourite dish?
No, not really.
Dragon roll, something like that?
The tuna, the fatty tuna, it's got more fat in it. You pay a bit more for it.
Right.
Oh, it's so good. It's so luxurious.
Yeah. We got a Japanese restaurant tomorrow night.
Oh, very nice too.
In Winchester. Kyoto nice. Kitchen, we'll see you there.
The fusion one, I like the fusion one. It's a bit of all sorts.
Oh, yeah. One of my favourite restaurants is in a place called Olostag in Portugal, and it used to be a Japanese Thai restaurant. Oh, my goodness, it was magnificent. Now it's Japanese Vietnamese. Still pretty good.
Right. I like it.
Let's have one more.
Morning, Dyche. I'm still so gutted about the England result. What's the best thing I can do to get over the loss this weekend? Cheers, Dyche.
Well, for me, I'm going to go back to my go-to, which is a good few beers with your mates and a curry. I think that's always clears up. Me and my mates still do curry night. My mates from Kettering, we still do curry night. We still have a few beers. The stories get longer and bigger and more embellished. Yeah, we put the world to rights. We solve everything over curry night. So I think that would still be my go-to.
I don't know, it's hard to appreciate, by the way, boys, but Sunday night, Spain-Argentina could be a heck of a good game.
Yeah, I think we can forget that. We do forget that. Yeah, we do forget that. Yeah, that will be. I agree.
Yeah, I mean, just very quickly, Craig says, Sean, do you think the England job is too big for one man? Possibly bring in a team like Shearer, Beckham, Lineker, Terry, and Rooney to work with the coaches. Would it be doable?
I'm not thinking that would work. I mean, look, I'm all out there for new modern thinking in football, but I'm not sure that would work.
Yeah.
No,
Craig, thank you very much indeed for the thought.
Yeah, one singer, one song, I think. There's only one leader.
Yeah. And that was all thanks to Costa Express. Coming up, we'll turn our attention to the World Cup final live on talkSPORT. How are the Spanish preparing to play against Messi? We'll find out next.
The Costa Coffee Break on talkSPORT. Sponsored by Costa Express. Real beans, real milk, real signature taste.
Mick McCarthy joined Simon and Piers, decided to take Piers Morgan on regarding an incident way back in 2009 when, as Wolves manager, he rested a number of players for a trip to Old Trafford.
I've always respected you hugely, genuinely, as a manager.
Except when I dropped 10 players at Wolverhampton.
Yeah, well, that was terrible.
You did say something that I was particularly unhappy about.
I thought it was shocking.
Yeah.
Yeah, go on. What was your problem with what I said? You must have known I was right.
You're never right, mate. you just antagonise people with your comments, which you're doing on this show quite clearly.
No.
So when you said it, my job is to win games.
Yes.
We went to Spurs the Saturday before. We won 1-0 with about 35% possession. We got Manchester United on the Tuesday. I went there and I dropped 10 players. I have a squad of 22. If I'm a manager, it's my right to manage that team how I see and get results.
And it's my right as an Arsenal fan who you were directly impacting with your cowardice
because you weren't good enough
you out on it.
Because you weren't good enough to win the title, and that Sir Alex won it again, and he won it. You weren't good enough, so you blame me, which is real bad on my part.
Now I know what Roy Keane's problem was.
No,
just to be clear, by dropping 10 players, you let United walk all over you, which had a direct impact on my team's chances of winning.
Iconic. There's no other word. An 18-carat gold trophy that owns the world, and it waits. It waits for 4 years. It's 1971, and FIFA need a new trophy to replace the Jules Rimet, so they launch a worldwide design competition. And in his studio in Milan, 50-year-old sculptor Silvio Gazzaniga immediately gets to work. But instead of sending FIFA a picture, he goes further and makes a prototype they can hold. It works. FIFA choose his design over 52 others, and perhaps the most beautiful piece of silverware or goldenware enters the beautiful game. Let's let the artist himself describe it. Gazzaniga said the idea was to create something symbolising exertion, dynamism, and the jubilation of an athlete in the moment of victory, with all the joy that contains. The malachite rings in the base fitted the sculpture well because it's green like a football field, and it's also a precious stone. The first captain to lift the trophy was Franz Beckenbauer in 1974, and of course, it's only the greatest who get their hands on it. Zoff, Matthias paved the way for the modern-day heroes who dreamt of lifting Gazzaniga's masterpiece. But there was something about this man holding it that seemed to deliver everything the sculptor had imagined. Were I to ever redo it, the artist once said, I wouldn't change a thing.
Good morning, just 7:35, Friday, July the 17th. This is World Cup Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling Sean Dyche and Arnold Clark. Browse the UK's best used car deals and score your dream car today. Check out their website for more details. The latest episode of How to Win the World Cup is now ready to watch or listen to. Matt Ford is alongside the 1998 World Cup winner Manu Petit and comedian Alex Brooker to reflect on England's heartbreaking defeat against Argentina in the semi-finals. Here's Petit on England's loss. He says there's a mentality issue that goes beyond the players and the staff and is something that's ingrained in the public.
Yesterday, England didn't play as a team.
Why don't we do that? Why is this a constant problem for England?
This is in the mentality, you know. When the boys, you know, they grow up, you know, and they want to become footballers, people around them that keep telling them it's coming on, but at the end, England will fail. It's like kind of the same song all the time, the same mentality, you know, generation after generation. When I came to London a couple of days ago, I spoke with so many English people. They were not confident at all. The environment has to change. Did you see Argentinians? The whole country, you know, unite on the team. They have the feeling. Did you see the link with the players and the fans? Have you seen it? Honestly, it's like playing against a whole country when you're on the pitch. I think we forgot sometimes, European countries, what it means, you know, to play a World Cup, you know. It's like, okay, we have great players, we have a really good team. We're among the favorites to win the World Cup. But at the end, being a good player is important. Showing it on the pitch is more important.
Gabriel Clark got battered for asking a question about the players' mentality to Thomas Tuchel, didn't he?
What did you think, Jeff? What did you think? You're in the industry of that.
Yeah, I thought it was absolutely valid question. And of course, it was more the fact that he then went to Jude Bellingham and said, well, the manager said this. But you know what? That is also a totally valid thing to do. Yeah. In my opinion, anyway, I think Gabriel Clark is one of the best interviewers that there is.
I've had dealings with him, but yeah, I mean, I'll sit on the fence with that one because I get why people were moaning about it, but equally, I will back him in this sense. That's the modern media anyway. Forgetting about him personally, that's the way it is. Yeah, but it myself, manager, you get asked awkward questions.
Of course you do.
Yeah, win or lose, you can get asked awkward questions. You know what I mean? So that's the way it is, and the player has a responsibility the best they can to deal with these questions. But I do get that someone said, well, why phrase? It was the phrase, I think, the way that he phrased it. I think that was what I think people got narked about, which I understand that. But
yeah, and again,
he's got every right to ask. That's why you're in the media. That's why you're doing your job. If you didn't ask, you wouldn't be doing your job.
One of the jobs in the media that I never, ever wanted was to be that touchline reporter, the tunnel reporter, who's got to speak to a manager who may not be in his best mood.
Sometimes they must be thinking, oh no, you know,
I mean,
Sir Alex, do you remember there was a few Sir Alex back in the day? You can almost sense what's coming.
It must have been your worst night. Yeah, absolutely. What did you make of what Manu Petit was saying though? That it's a mentality thing, maybe with the players and also maybe with the public as well.
Yeah, well, he'd forgotten about that French famous side who down tools on everyone, but no, look, it's hard, isn't it? Because we're so close, you know. Gareth got us so close, now Tuchel's got us so close, and you keep thinking, you know, they'll coming home one, but it's not that easy. Let's have it right. We look at our football since '66. Look at the growth in our football. Look at the amazing talents we've got. It's still not easy to go and win a World Cup. So I get what he's saying, but I don't think for me that game wasn't lost on some kind of thought from the years of, you know, people growing up saying it's coming home. I don't think we lost that game.
No,
for that.
Completely.
So I understand his point, but I don't think that's as powerful as what he's suggesting for me.
Now, believe it or not, despite the fact England won't be there will still be a World Cup final on Sunday, and it's live on talkSPORT with Sure.
High-pressure picks on talkSPORT with Sure. Non-stop protection deodorant that won't ever let you down.
When the stakes are at their highest and the greats and the good are separated. And like when global icons clash and the prize is footballing immortality. Early ball gets it back. Pedro Porro! It is two! That is a golden moment for Spain!
Get
get your team to the World Cup final. I thought Rodri was absolutely magnificent.
Spain are a game away from a second star. The European champions now on the brink of becoming world champions again. Back in from Messi and headed in by Lautaro Martinez. Argentina just got in the car and smashed straight through the wonder wall, didn't they?
When the Argentinian players were singing the anthem, you could see how much they wanted to win that game. That's probably the best game Argentina played in this World Cup.
Nobody's retained the trophy since 1962. Argentina stand on the brink of history.
Yeah, this Sunday, biggest game of world football takes centre stage in New York. It's live on talkSPORT from 8. Don't forget, afterwards, Donald Trump and Gianni Infantino will present the trophy to the winners. Can't wait for that.
Whenever it's Donald Trump, I just think of Fordy. Matt Ford.
Matt Ford, he's a brilliant impersonation of him, yeah. He's having to work on an Andy Burnham impersonation,
yes,
I mean, he's got Keir Starmer, but
it's fantastic. I saw him recently live as well. He's very funny, Fordy.
Yeah, I was going to say Matt Ford's very
Matt
funny.
Ford.
Yeah, not Andy Burnham. Yeah.
He's good. He's a good fellow, Andy, actually.
Yeah, Everton fan, isn't he?
Well, believe it or not, can I just tell a very quick story?
Yeah.
Side stage, Kasabian, and Andy Burnham was with us on the side stage watching Kasabian.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was the last time I saw him.
Yeah, no.
I thought fair play. It was a couple of years ago down at Glastonbury.
Completely, without getting into politics, completely agree. Take the politics away.
Yeah, of course.
Good bloke.
Sorry, I'm not being political. He's a good guy, really good.
Good guy, yeah. So, European champions Spain take on the world champions Argentina. Argentina on the brink of history, looking to become the first nation since Brazil in 1962 to retain their crown. And, of course, for Lionel Messi, wow. Up against the country where he spent 21 years and won 35 major trophies with Barcelona. For more on this, delighted to say joining us the athletic Spanish football writer Dermot Corrigan. Morning, Dermot.
Hey, morning, Jeff. How is everybody there?
Yeah, really good, thanks, mate. Yeah, so what's the feeling like in Spain coming up against Messi, who's been so wonderful in Spanish football for years and years and years, coming up against Messi in a World Cup final?
There's a huge amount of excitement about playing in the World Cup final first, and then about it also being Argentina with all the links between the countries, and then being Messi as well, who, for a lot of Spanish fans, especially Barca fans, he's one of theirs. He's not a guy from another country or anything. He's somebody who they've grown up watching, who they've grown up admiring, especially Barca fans, maybe not Real Madrid fans so much. And yeah, the expectation ahead of the final is just tremendous here.
Spain, before the tournament started, Oscar de la Fuente said, in his opinion, he's got the best midfield in world football. And I have to say, after the first 2 or 3 games, I was scratching my head about that a little bit. But my goodness me, they came to the party against France, Dermot.
Yeah, for sure. Like Rodri, especially coming into the tournament, he hasn't had a great couple of years at Man City. He's had a lot of injuries. He's only 30, but there's been a feeling that he's getting on a bit. But he's really grown into this tournament. They've targeted the tournament. They were ready for it. They knew themselves that the group wasn't the most difficult. They had other players like Lamine Yamal as well who weren't 100% fit. But against France, they all just stepped up, and it was tremendous the way they that midfield controlled the game, showed what to do in a World Cup semi-final if you go 1-0 up, how to kill it off, and Spain weren't.
Do you know what? Though? Do you know what? I've marvelled at, because on the show a couple of weeks ago, I said, sort of like, no one wrote Spain off, but you know what I mean. They haven't been sort of glamorised as we say normally are for these sort of tournaments. I must say, the basics of the game, they were terrific against France. Everyone talks about the way they play and the style and all that. What about the basics? Their pressing, the press and recover, their shape. 4-4-2, by the way. There you go. How about that? 4-4-2 Spain. Who'd have thunked it? Because I always get bad for that 4-4-2. But a version of 4-4-2, pressing line's amazing. Back line's stepping up. You got rapid players and they are stepping up, holding that high line. I think the fundamentals of football and what they deliver, Spain, in this World Cup has been absolutely fantastic. They never got carried away at the beginning. They're getting a bit of stick because they didn't beat Cape Verde. They've stuck to task, dead calm, and a real teamship, an authentic teamship for me. Not singing and all that, doing rowing and all that, just getting on with it. Just getting on with it. No, when they won the second game, I said, if you remember, I said, Ned, did you notice? I said they just walked off. Look at the players. They, clapped the fans and they went bang.
Yeah.
And I just thought, I know there's a body language to that when I just thought these mean business.
Yeah. I guess, Dermot, nobody in Spain is surprised at how well they've done.
No, like they're European champions coming into this tournament, and they haven't lost a game in a couple of years. They lost on penalties the Nations League, but they like that idea of being under the radar a little bit as well. They don't have the big superstars. They haven't been talking about Haaland or Messi or Ronaldo or Bellingham or anything. As Sean says there, it's about the team. It's about working for each other. There's a kind of family feeling around the squad. De La Fuente knows a lot of the players for about a decade, since he had them at the under-18s for Spain, the under-21s, and they won European trophies together as underage players. They won the Euros together 2 years ago. And not that I don't think they were arrogant or anything going into it, but they're just confident. They believe in themselves. They believe they can beat anybody. And ahead of Argentina, who been on this tremendous run as well, Spain are still quite confident that they can do it.
They've got quite a mature group as well. If you look at their age, I'm not quite sure the age band, but I think they are a more mature group, and it tells, I think, the way they play and the way they conduct themselves on the pitch. I think there's a maturity to their game. That's what it looks like to me. But the real shape of it, the team, doing the basics, and we know they can play. And I fancied them against France. I did call it just because they can absorb the game with the ball, and that's something we got questioned about, of course.
Dermot, enjoy Sunday. Thanks for joining us again.
Cool. You guys too. Thanks.
Cheers.
By the way, we're full of that was the Athletic Spanish football writer, Dermot Corrigan. Talk about stats. Fabian Ruiz, who was fantastic against France, by the way. 49 caps for Spain. Never been on the losing side. How about that?
That's unreal, isn't it?
Isn't it amazing?
It'd be your first name down, wouldn't he? Just look at you.
I think he's starting on Sunday, don't you? I think he's starting.
Yeah.
That was Look Ahead with Sure non-stop protection deodorant that won't ever let you down. Coming up, we'll hear from someone who played under Thomas Tuchel on whether he truly is an elite manager.
High pressure picks on talkSPORT with Sure, official sponsor of FIFA World Cup 2026.
When we have a 4-2-4 system, players like Olmo, if you look at him, he's always between two lines. Yep. This player, you saw it in the game with Belgium, you saw it in the game with Portugal. He is exactly the kind of, I would say, a virus who is entering in the blood of the opponents, and he killed us. He was one of the players perfectly suited to kill us.
Yeah. Can I just ask your thoughts on Mbappe last night as well? I mean, did he let himself down, Eric? I know he's a big player, he's a big personality, but even walking off last night, not shaking anybody's hands, I mean, how does that look?
It looks like the real Mbappe is back. There is two Mbappe, the one who is having a mission and the one who can be positive and working and sharing and being the leader of a team. And when he loses his gift, his toy, when the toy is broken, suddenly the teenager who is part of him comes back, the one who is selfish, the one who is a bit aggressive when he gets a yellow card with the goalkeeper, the one who doesn't share hands with opponent, the one who suddenly in the last 20 minutes he knew the game was lost and he played for himself. He made some useless kicks, shots. So altogether, we are back with the Mbappe from Paris Saint-Germain, the Mbappe sometimes of Real Madrid, the Mbappe that we know that I spoke about it from the very early stage of the tournament, who is selfish. And when he's selfish like that, then you lose the man on the...
Hello, I'm Matt Forden from talkSPORT. This is How to Win the World Cup.
This is the best squad I think England have ever had.
He used to love America, now he doesn't. It's very sad.
It was so important to succeed because of all the pressure we received.
Don't jump for this one, I'm going to knock his head off.
Warning, this podcast does not guarantee England will actually win anything.
Good morning. This is talkSPORT Breakfast, 7:51. I'm Jeff Stelling. Sean Dyche is with me. It's the second day of the Open Golf Championship at Royal Birkdale. Every shot, of course, live on talkSPORT 2. Let's get an update now with talkSPORT's golf correspondent, Rupert Bell. And Rupert, a nice, solid start for our overnight leader.
Yep, Jackson Suber, the surprise overnight leader. Well, he began with a par. He could have actually made a birdie because he hit his approach shot to about 8 feet, but he'd raced the putt by, but he managed to walk off with that par, so he stays at 5 under. But there are plenty of birdies out there, and 2 Englishmen are going well. Matt Wallace and John Parry have both picked up 2 shots. Matt Wallace now at 3 under, John Parry at 1 under. All eyes will be on Rory McIlroy later on this morning, because he'll be teeing up just after 10 o'clock.
The Open Championship update on talkSPORT with Arnold Clark. Choose from over 20,000 used cars online and score your dream car today.
Yeah, remember, every shot live on talkSPORT 2. Now it's safe to say that Thomas Tuchel has lost the backing from many England fans after that Argentina loss. Simon Jordan says he's a hypocrite. He should be sacked. Gabby Agbonlahor called him a coward and said he should lose his job. Some are questioning whether he's truly an elite manager and whether he can turn it round. Well, let's bring in someone who knows him. He played 32 times under Tuchel while on loan at Mainz in the 2010-2011 season. Former Spurs, Fulham and Germany midfielder Lewis Holtby. Morning, Lewis.
Good morning.
So, Lewis, you know the man. You played under him. Are you surprised at the amount of criticism he's getting in this country?
Not surprised, because obviously everyone's gutted that he's been so close again, reaching the final, bringing back home the trophy. But then obviously in the end of the day, then you play against your arch rivals. You lose that game. Everyone's moaning, obviously, and it's more than fair, because 60 years of hurt, I think, and it stings. It stings. I spoke to my dad, obviously, and we went back and forth and everything. Gutted.
What did you make of the thing he's getting most criticised about, of course, is the substitutions and the fact that we tried to seemingly hold out for the 1-0 for the last 20-odd minutes of the game. What did you make of those substitutions?
Yeah, obviously in the other games, it worked. I mean, in those heated moments, you have to make a decision. We could sit here now, maybe, if he probably would have gone 4-3-3, we go full press, they play out the press, play through you and score the 1-1 in a different way. He would probably still be criticised. So in that heated moment, you have to make decisions. I think you can even if you play lower block, you can even, take them out, even be a bit more aggressive. They got dropped too deep. I think that's the problem. They played really well. They got into a momentum. They had their chances with hitting the post, etc. And then obviously you lost the game. But I think still in a low block, still in a 5-3-2, still in a 5-4-1. You could defend it higher. You could get your moments where you can get into the press, and that's what the team hasn't done.
I know it was a while ago when you worked with him, but having worked with him, what would you think you know, what would you think his mindset would have been there? Why would he have made them decisions?
I think even though that, like I said, you go in a low block, he always liked to play active football. That means it doesn't mean that if you play with a back five that you eventually end up in your box all the time. I mean, you as a manager know yourself perfectly well that if you play in a 5-3-2, 5-4-1, you get your pressing moments and your triggers. And I think in that moment, England didn't get into those pressing moments anymore because you got dropped deeper and deeper, and then you ended up with 10, 11 men in your own box. So I don't think the message from Thomas was to sit in your box and hold it out for 20, 25 minutes because, Argentina is too hell of a good team to play through you and to create chances and obviously to create a momentum with the fans and with the energy that they have. So I think those trigger moments they missed to get on the break, to get the wing backs on the break with Harry Kane, who holds up the ball, lets it drop, and then you exploit the space in behind. But yeah, obviously now we're all clever now, but in that moment, especially in the heat of the game, in that late stage of the tournament,
would you expect him to carry on, Lewis?
100%. He's a fighter. He loves England. You can see it in his face. You can see it in everything he did. Coaching England, he really loves it. He's passionate about football. He's passionate about proving people wrong because he's a hell of a good manager. He's so detail orientated, and obviously he's also a very good human being. He's feisty and he gets the best out of people. Because I remember seeing we had a game. I scored 1, set up 2, and I thought, I'm going to have a nice week here. And the whole week he was on me. He was on the same touchline as I was, trying to bring the best out of me, tried to not be satisfied. And that's how he is, and that's who he is. And that's he's a really top manager and a top human being.
Well, fair play. There you go, straight from the horse's mouth. Someone who's worked with him. I know it was a while ago, but I think it's a fair assessment. I don't think. To be fair, I don't think any of us are questioning him as a person, are we? I don't think that. I think we're just questioning the whys and wherefores.
And I think we saw something similar to what Lewis was saying there with Jed Spence. Constantly in Jed Spence's ear, but it wasn't with criticism, was it? It was just trying to make him do things better.
Yeah, I think the only thing I would say about that, and that's a great moment to bring up actually, is when you're on someone that much, though, part of me was going, well, you know, are they not delivering what you've told them, or have you not told them? Do you get what I mean? Because when you're on someone that much, it's almost like, well, hang on a minute, you shouldn't be on someone that much. We all get, players can make us annoyed and we try and remind them of things, but he was on him, really on him. And I thought, blooming heck, I'm not sure who's told who what to do here, but someone's not getting it right, that's for sure.
Lewis, to be honest, I think also, though, sorry to intervene, but I think also he's very good in psychology, like knowing people. So in terms of me, I think he did it right because I used to go down a bit. When I was 20, I used to, after a good game, I used to go like, chuffed or whatever. But pushing them buttons, like he knows people and he knows characters. And I think also the situation with Jed Spence is, I think he probably knows that if I'm on him, and you can see that in his game, and he evolved during the tournament, that he needs that. He needs to be always reminded of, you're powerful, you can press, you can go up and down. And those are little moments where you see that Thomas understands people, and that's why I think I have to back him of how he tries to communicate and how he tries to bring the best out of players.
Lewis, really interesting stuff. I suspect not everyone in Germany was upset that England lost, were they?
Obviously, yeah. But like I said, I'm also half English, and I watched the game with my brother in the England shirt, and obviously we had contacts the whole time with my dad. We even watched the Mexico game together. Well, he lives on the island, and I live in Germany, but we stayed up all night. And I mean, it's always them World Cup memories that you love, and doesn't matter what everyone says. In Germany, it's football, it's World Cup, and it's England, and they love their pride.
Fantastic, Lewis. Joy to talk to you. Thank you so much.
It's beautiful. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
The man played under Thomas Tuchel, really interesting as well. Lewis Holtby on the show. Still to come on breakfast.
Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. Spend £100 or more in-store or online as a trade account holder and you could win a brand new Ford Ranger. T's and C's apply.
Coming up next, former England and Premier League goalkeeper Ben Foster joins us live in the studio for a 2-hour deep dive into our World Cup defeats. That was our breakfast preview with Travis Perkins.
Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. Want to win a brand new Ford Ranger? Just spend £100 or more using your Travis Perkins trade account to enter into the draw. T's and C's apply.
It's 25 minutes. You're playing against Argentina. And you've just gone, here. There you go.
I'm
go
so
on, just attack us. Attack v defence.
Do you know what, Jay? I can't believe I'm having this conversation about Tuchel. I cannot believe I'm having this conversation.
Sack him. Sack him.
It's just rinse and repeat as England. And I don't know whether he looked back on that Mexico game and got drawn into how comfortable he felt. No, Jay, I'm not giving you an answer. I'm trying to find a reason. I'm trying to get into his head. I don't know the answer, Jay. Any more than you. Don't, Jay. I'm trying to find a reason.
But why put Bellingham on the left?
Jay, I don't know.
Why not bring Rashford on?
I don't know.
Why not bring Saka on?
I don't know.
What was he thinking?
I don't know.
What's he thinking?
I'm trying to get into Tuchel's head because the lads were dead on their feet. And if you're going to go to 5 at the back, which I kind of understand in one way, I do. But what you need to do is help help the back 5, because if they can't get out, you literally are on the edge of your box, and you can't defend all the time like that. You need pressure on the ball. You need players to get out, and also you need an out ball. We had no out ball. Nothing.
But
I can't believe
But that's coaching 101. That's literally coaching. We are sat there, 2 donuts, all right, in the Redwood. 2 people that sit on here, all right? We ain't coaches. We know football. He's the top level England manager, and the whole nation can see that we were camped in, and everyone's screaming, "Make a sub, give us an out."
I don't get it, Jay. I don't get it. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. I don't understand how he couldn't see what we were seeing.
It's 2010, and the Goalkeepers Union is up in arms. Why? This thing, the Jabulani, perhaps the most famous World Cup match ball for moving, it seemed, in 3 directions at once. But that wasn't the first match ball row, not by a long shot. In 1930, the World Cup final began with a fight, not between the players, but about the ball. Argentina brought theirs, and Uruguay brought theirs. And when neither backed down, they played 45 minutes with each. Uruguay, with the T model, came out on top. This was the era when balls were heavy. They were classics, sure, but they could double in weight during a thunderstorm. Before we go on, I will tell you that the 1962 ball was called Mr. Crack. A ball that was so heavy when wet, several European teams refused to use it. Instead, the 1958 Top Star was used, most famously for the quarter-final between Czechoslovakia and Hungary. By '66, we had the Slazenger Challenge. Because people watched They Think It's All Over in black and white, we forget the ball was actually bright orange or red, whatever that colour is. But it looked like a floating smudge to people at home. The World Cup match ball needed a makeover. Enter the Telstar. 32 black and white panels. It was stylish, it was modern, and it meant goalkeepers could finally see the thing that was about to ruin their afternoon. It was also the start of an Adidas monopoly. 1986 was the dawn of a new age. The Azteca was the first fully synthetic ball, meaning it didn't soak up water. Recently, though, things have got weird. 2002 gave us the Fever Nova, basically a high-tech frisbee, and then, of course, the Jabulani. Today, the balls have internal sensors that tell the VAR room if someone breathed on it. We've come a long way. But the ball's not the main thing, is it, FIFA? It's just a ball.
Good morning to you. Friday, July the 17th, 6 minutes past 8 o'clock. This is World Cup Breakfast. I'm Jeff Stelling. Alongside me today is Sean Dyche. We're here with Arnold Clark. It's the perfect time to upgrade your car. Get 2 years free servicing when you buy a used car in the upgrade event. Check it out online. Right, we're just past the halfway point of the show this morning, and I'm delighted to say we're turning things up a notch as we are joined by this man.
He's crossed towards Pogba. Oh, it's a brilliant save by Foster because the volley was pinpoint from
Ericsson with a free kick outside the penalty area. Kills it all! Ben Foster! What a save! And that to a string of 3 or 4 world-class saves in the first half. And that's a brilliant save by Ben Foster.
1 or 2 minutes to go of extra time. Alex Ferguson brought me on. I came on. I didn't save 1 penalty, and then I missed my penalty.
That's right, the former Man United, West Brom, Watford and England goalkeeper Ben Foster is live with us in the studio, sitting next to Sean Dyche. I mean, you both got your Watford connections. Your paths not cross?
No, they passed through, through the goalkeeping coach, Alec Chamberlain, who also played for Watford, who's my big mate, and he's Fozz's big mate as well. So, but we've known each other for a long, through Chamber, really, for a long time.
When I signed for Watford, I think I was 21 at the time. I'd just come on loan from Man United. I think Dyche just left the season before.
Yeah.
But still, the name Sean Dyche echoed through the halls of, honestly, of the Watford training. There was a few players who, when they heard Sean Dyche walking into the canteen or the medical room, honestly, it sent shivers down their spine. It did, honestly.
And it's amazing to think there've only been 243 Watford managers since then.
Oh, yeah. I wasn't back when him coming forward, let's say, Jeff.
So something's never
red ears about. Few red ears about. I was around, yeah.
So, look, obviously, Ben, it's all been England fallout here on talkSPORT, as you might imagine. What did you make of the game? What did you make of the tactical changes from Thomas Tuchel?
Yeah, probably the same as everybody else. You know what my big problem with it all is, we've got we've got top class players. Yeah, we've got maybe 1 or 2 world class players, but we've got top class players, and they all play for massive teams across the world. We're talking, your Real Madrid, your Bayern Munich, Barcelona's, Arsenal, Chelsea, Man City. And when you play for a team like that, you're used to dominating the ball, dictating the play, having possession, being on the front foot. So why would you ask your players to not do what they're good at, what they're best at? Their best attributes, and the reason why they are world-class players, is because when they get on the ball, they know what they're doing.
Yeah, ironically, he's come out and suggesting the DNA of the country. He's only suggesting it, to be fair, because I must make this clear. I try and support managers. Maybe, he said. But why would you suggest that? I was saying at the beginning of the show, me and Jeff, that I think the Premier League has the highest consistent level of passing.
Yep.
So therefore, if the players are used to it,
they can do it. That's their best
12%, 12% possession is more like one of my sides, Fozzie.
You still nick a 1-0 win.
Winning without the ball. Winning without the ball.
But that's my point is that we can do it. Them players can do it. That's their best attributes. They're not very good at defending. They're not top class players at defending.
On the other hand,
you ask them to do that?
Right. The one thing we will say, from a manager's point of view, purely, is they are out there, right? They're players, they are good players. So you're going, well, okay, why didn't the players go and say, hang on a minute?
Yeah.
That's where you need your leaders. That's when your leaders will understand. They go, whoa, call your jets, lads.
Yeah.
Let's get the ball. Let's keep the ball. Do you know what I mean? So I must say there's a bit on the players.
Yeah, but if one of your players did something that you hadn't told him to do,
well,
you'd
I
be
passed
out of
it.
black.
If one of my players passed it to the goalie, I'd have said, kick it down.
Rosed, you can't score from Rosed. They can't score from
there. No, but joking apart, Jeff, right? And Fozzie would say this because he had great success in all different styles of play, actually. But in Watford under ADB Freud, they were direct, right? And he could launch it a mile. But there's nothing wrong with that because it takes the pressure off.
Yep.
You know that.
Yep.
Why even?
You've got to play to that though. If you're going to click it long,
exactly.
You've got to have the players that are
able
to,
on the pitch.
Somebody up top who can get hold.
You get Rashford on, don't you? Because he can run.
Get Big Dan Burn for those, like, do you know what I mean? And he's getting
out
there, bringing something like that.
That's a bit that frustrated.
That was a bit that
not whether you defend out, but put players on who can then counter.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and exactly that. And when Thomas Tuchel says, look, he still wanted us to be on the front foot. Well, how does he then explain taking Anthony Gordon off and replacing him with Ezri Konsa?
That's the bit I don't understand yet. And Konsa eventually, because he's not a right back, he actually gets done. He's outside the game for the goal. You know, tactically as a manager, so you want him inside the V.
And not even that, late on, the last 5 minutes, we're relying on Ezri Konsa to get crosses into the box on that right wing position.
Not only that, but
to
be fair to him as well, you know, Fozzie, it's ugly coming on when you're a centre half and you're playing out of position. That's an ugly 5 minutes of your life. When you're coming on, you want to be involved, right? But when you're not certain, you're coming on, you're going, oh, don't change it. It's true, isn't it?
Yeah.
I could never understand managers who change.
Do you know what's baffled?
I'd never try and change them back forward. Try and keep them together.
Solid.
As long as
they know what they're doing.
Yeah,
they found their way
jobs.
into the game. They found a groove.
Yeah, that was my frustration.
The bit that baffles me is where Thomas Tuchel says, one, he's got no regrets, and two, that he's asked his team to go and get a second. And I'm not having it. I'm really not having it, because if he honestly said that and honestly meant it and believed it all the way through the rest of that second half, you'd have had him in absolute theatrics on the side.
I love the fact you've come on, Fozzie, because you're clickbait now. You've just taken all my steam away. Thank you.
It's true, though. If he really meant what he said, he'd have been on the side of the pitch and he'd have been arms flying everywhere. We've already seen it this tournament. It'd have been theatrics of him, get up the pitch. But we didn't see that once, did we? No. So even if he did say it, I don't genuinely believe that he meant it.
No, you know, when he says he's got no regrets, well, he's not reading the room. He really is not reading the room. That's it. I mean, he has said as well, look, playing in the heat, playing at altitude, playing with a man down, it cost us in the end. It's easy to say they're excuses, but are they valid excuses?
Look, I mean, the emotion of the tournament, you know, I can only imagine this. As I said, I haven't been there, but the emotion of it does get draining. You know, the bigger the games have, no matter what level of football you're playing at. I remember, for example, as manager, just to give a reference point, it's not the same, but you'll understand the train of thought. When I was at Everton, the last week of that season, we got to win on the Saturday, or else they're going down. It drains you, you know, that whole build-up process. Different kind of draining, you know, cortisol and all that they talk about. By the time the game comes, you're like, oh, just get it done.
Just get
you know
through
what I mean? I know, but weirdly, Fozzie, you played in big teams and big games. I mean, it can drain you, can't it? The build-up and that, it gets so long-winded, and everyone's talking about now the lads are on their phones and they're getting bombarded with it. I'm definitely not making excuses for what happened, but just giving them, you know, some players can really draining.
For sure, we had 40 minutes basically. So when we scored 55 minutes, we had 40 minutes from that moment on, and it was from the get-go, backs to the wall. Yeah. And I'm just thinking, come on,
that's a bit,
you can't do that for 40 minutes. You know, I don't mind losing a game by doing what we've been doing. If we'd have gone out the tournament losing to a better Argentina because they outplayed us, they scored better goals, I'll hold my hands up. I'm more than happy that. I am, really am.
The other thing, right, I don't want to make light of this, but some of the comments are like, why didn't it get tighter to Messi? I'm like, really? Like, you don't think people have been trying to do that since he was born? You know, going like, you know.
I will ask a question then. Why didn't we get tied at the Messi? when he put the cross in for the final goal, why did we?
With the brain.
Obviously, Jed Spence has been involved in the challenge there and stands on the edge of the box, allows Messi to go and retrieve the ball and put in the pinpoint.
But like Fozzie was saying, changing
stop the cross, surely,
changing the fullbacks and all that.
What I will say
during the game,
Dyche, I'm sure you'll agree with this as well, is they had an awful lot of short corners where Messi's taking the corner, getting the ball back under no pressure whatsoever. There has to be somebody go out there. That has to be somebody's job, doesn't it? Because you can't give the best player in the world with the best left foot.
As
in the
I said,
world.
I didn't want to make light of it, but you get my point with Messi. But no, we should go out and press it. We should, you know, Jed Spence or
you're not going to be able to man mark him though.
No,
you're not going to be able to man mark him.
Yeah, but at that stage of the game, that doesn't. You've got to stop that coming.
Yeah.
Are we in any way paying the price for having, you know, a Premier League which is so demanding? You know, by the time we come to this tournament, you see Bukayo Saka reportedly not fit. Declan Rice clearly nowhere near at it. Livramento goes home injured beforehand. Is that a consequence of the amount of high-pressure games we've got in the Premier League?
Sorry, Fozzie, before you speak, the one thing I will say is not just the Premier League, don't forget. A lot of these top players are playing in all the competitions. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The Arsenal players particularly, it was so massive for them to win it this season. And then to win it and then go, I've got to go again.
Yeah,
I've got to go and try
it's a big ask, isn't it? It's an awful big ask.
Just as a human being, I'm on about now. And I'm really not making excuses or anything like that. But Fozzie, that demand is hard.
It will have taken an awful lot of emotional energy out of those Arsenal players. Who's the talkSPORT guy with the always gives the historically bad ratings for England players?
Adrian Durham.
Adrian Durham. He was talking about the Arsenal effect on them this season and the players that have come away to the World Cup, and they didn't have fantastic World Cup.
No.
Did they? We needed them to maybe shine a little bit more, but I don't know. Maybe it's a bit of a reach to blame Arsenal for England.
I was going to say,
it's a bit of a reach, I think.
Yeah, it's not like Adrian to go. Not like him at all. Kevin says, please tell Sean Dyche, first half, Anderson had Messi in his pocket because we pressed as a team and didn't sit back in our box, so he could be marked. Look, coming up, we'll ask Ben and Sean what is the England DNA. I look forward to that answer. And also focus on reports that the players were not happy with Tuchel's approach, and if that's a relationship that could be repaired. That's all to come on talkSPORT's World Cup Breakfast.
He seems to be into the fact that it was kind of a premeditated idea by Gabriel Clark to ask a question in a divisive way. You know him, you've done this job, so what did you make of the interview and what do you make of all the fallout from it?
Well, straight after the interviews, I sent Gabriel a text and I said, a masterclass in the art of post-match interviewing. And I would stand by that now. Gabriel's not a sensationalist. He's not out for headlines. He will look you in the eye and ask a straight question. Having been in that situation, I think he might have been slightly surprised when Tuchel came and said we were poor and we didn't do this and we didn't do that. That might have surprised him slightly, and he threw the mentality line in that Tuchel bit his head off about. But those situations, you've got a limited amount of time. There's no way that you're going to go, I'm going to ask him this and wind him up here, and then I'll get Bellingham, and by the way, what a story that's going to be. That's not Gabriel. Gabriel's the best in the business at doing that by a considerable margin and has been for many years. And when Gabriel put it to him, your manager wasn't very happy overall, and he shrugged his shoulders and said, whatever. Fine.
Do you think Gabriel could have qualified it a bit more? Maybe in hindsight, he thinks if he'd said the manager wasn't happy with performance, not in terms of effort, maybe in terms of quality, you can play better than that as a team.
I think you and everyone that's ever asked a question would look back and go, perhaps I could have asked that question a bit better. But in the heat of the moment there, in those bowels, when the adrenaline is still running, it was a straightforward, it was honest bit of interviewing. It wasn't tricky. And I was thinking about it coming in here. There's been nothing from the England camp.
No drama, is there?
There's been nothing. There's been no fights. There's been no drunks. There's been no women. There's been nothing untoward. And I think a lot of people jumped on this. Here's a bit of division here, Bellingham and Tuchel, etc., etc. There's a bit of history.
Get ready to get that winning feeling with talkSPORT Win. This summer, talkSPORT is bringing you live and official coverage of every game of the FIFA World Cup 2026. And to celebrate, we're giving away £26,000 guaranteed. Go to win.talksport.com to enter now, and you could win 26 grand in your hand, tax-free. Enter now, and you could be the next to get that winning feeling, courtesy of talkSPORT Win. Find out how to enter now at win.talksport.com. The Open Championship update on talkSPORT with Arnold Clark. Get a discounted home charger from just £549 when you buy an electric car today.
Good morning, this is World Cup Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling, Sean Dyche and Ben Foster. Don't forget, every shot of the Open Golf Championship live on talkSPORT 2. Let's find out how the early starters are getting on with Rupert Bell. Rupert, you said that Jackson Suber might not be at the top of the leaderboard come the end of the second round, but he's still sitting pretty there at the moment.
Well, Jeff, as you know, and when I tip, normally the opposite happens. So you must be fully aware of that. But Jackson Suber has actually got off to a really good start. Birdied the second hole. He's got probably his first real test because he's got a slippery par-saving putt on the third. But as I say, he's at 6 under par. That's too clear. But the man making a big charge on a benign morning here at Royal Birkdale is Englishman Matt Wallace, because he's 3 under through 7 holes of his round. Just missed a birdie opportunity at the par 3 7th hole, and he is at 4 under. 2 other players on that mark, Sunjay Im and Dan Brown, don't tee it up until 12:47. Birdies are out there. Cameron Smith, the 22 Open champion, well, he's 2 under through 4 holes of his round, and so he's moved up to 1 over par. But at the moment, Matt Wallace, the player making a move, Jackson Suber holding firm.
Rupert, thanks very much indeed. Remember, it's live on talkSPORT 2. Brian, who's a Forest fan, says, morning, guys. I don't know whether you noticed, but after our 85th defensive substitution, both Anderson and Spence could clearly be seen asking Thomas Tuchel and the bench where they should be playing, only to be ignored. And this was while the game was in progress. That's something you saw?
I like Dyche there. He's turned his, but that's the modern footballer. That's a deflection if ever I've seen a deflection. They know where they should be.
Yeah, you're not telling me you don't know how to go and press them.
Yeah, they know what they should be doing. On. Yeah,
I think that was a little bit stretching.
That's a reach. Yeah, it's another reach.
That's a reach. Yeah.
Right, let's get the latest odds with Coral and John Hill.
The Coral Daily Download on talkSPORT with Coral. We're here to reward the fans this summer. 18 plus, gambleaware.org.
Go straight.
John, good morning to you.
Good morning, gentlemen. How are we doing?
Yeah, we're doing good. Never mind all this World Cup stuff. Hey, how's Rochdale's pre-season going?
We're in Spain right now, actually. We're getting some hot weather training ahead of the new season.
How can you all afford to go to Spain?
I was just about to say, that's how football's changed. When I was at Chesterfield back in the mid-90s, we weren't going to Spain for a tour, I can assure you.
No, it's not bad at all. So, yeah, we're looking forward to that. We've got a friendly on Sunday morning out there. I think a lot of teams are out there right now. Stockport, Swindon, a few of the others are in the same area of Spain. So we've got an early season this year as well. Tranmere are in the preliminary round of the Carabao Cup on the 1st of August. So it's going to come around quick, that, in a couple of weeks' time. And then the opening game of the season, Newport away, a fancy one for Rochdale, glamorous tie there. But we're just glad to be back in the Football League, Sean. We really are. You know, you drop down to the National League. Jeff knows too well. You don't know how long you can stay down there. It's tough.
Absolutely.
With one automatic promotion, but we're back in the Football League and we're over the moon.
Yeah, well, Wrexham were there for 15 years. Don't want to worry hard.
Don't happen now,
15 years.
In the Premier League next year.
Well, the way things...
Yeah, absolutely.
Wrexham buying a player for £7 million, I saw yesterday. You know, wow.
They get Trump involved, they'll be there anyway.
The what, sorry?
Get Trump involved, they'll just be there anyway.
We'll pull a few
He'll just stick in the Premier League. There you go.
Anyway, John, so 2 games still to come in the World Cup. Let's start with the one that matters. The World Cup final, live on talkSPORT, of course, on Sunday evening. Argentina, OK, they beat England, but I suspect they're the outsiders, are they?
They are the outsiders, but we've seen a bit of interest for them, Jeff. They're 11-10 to lift the trophy. Spain 4-6. So at the end of the day, we've got the European champions against the South American champions, haven't we? First time that's happened. So you've got to give Argentina a lot of respect. You know, Spain obviously were the most impressive on the eye in the semi-finals. The way they beat France, I thought they were outstanding. The way they kept possession in that game. So they're favourites, but I think Argentina with Messi and obviously what they've done to England will have their supporters. In terms of the 90-minute betting, Spain 13-10 to do it in 90 minutes. Argentina 5-2, the draw 2-1. So, boys, do you give Argentina any chance against Spain?
I think they'll be like anything. It's a one-off game. They've got a chance. But I think Spain, I just like the way Spain have just, like I say, they're not under the radar, but you know what I mean? As opposed to their norms when everyone's thinking they're going to, go and roll it out and win it. I think they've just gone about their business nice and quietly. I know I joke about it, they're not singing after games and doing rowing and all that. They're just walking off, clapping the fans and getting on with business. You know what I mean? I do like that.
They're nice and humble, Spain.
I know, yeah.
Argentina are going to roll into town and they're going to do all they can to disrupt that. They're going to be nasty and naughty.
Yeah, edgy.
It'd be good. It will.
I'm suggesting the Argentinians are not humble.
No, I'm not saying that.
I'd
But
prefer if we were there, but I think it's going to be a good fight. Well, I hope it is, and I think
it should for sure.
Yeah,
be a good fight.
It should be. Look, I'm not sure how many people are going to watch England against France in the 3rd and 4th place playoffs. We all know it's a ludicrously difficult game. You know, how do you bet on that? I don't know how you draw up odds for that either, John, to be brutally honest.
Well, it's a difficult one. Listen, we're expecting both teams to make changes, I should imagine. I should imagine the players that get a chance to play much will be given the opportunity to get minutes. You wouldn't blame them for doing that, would you? But, the producer, we're just speaking to him off air before the game. Could it be an important game in Tuchel in terms of he needs a reaction to kind of prove himself here? Possibly, who knows? But in terms of this game, it should be happening. They should be on the plane home now, having a few weeks off, preparing for the new season, shouldn't they? But in terms of the odds, France 10-11, 90-minute betting, England 27-10, the draw 11-4. So we have France as warm favourites for this one. Yeah. In the grand scheme of things, it means absolutely zilch, doesn't it? No one's going to be celebrating third place in this tournament. They're both going to be disappointed, France and England. At one stage, this was looking like the final. They were both favourites to win their respective semi-finals. They've not got to the final. I think they just want to get home now, don't they?
Yeah. Hey, Ben, I mean, if you're... Well, let's take Kobbie Mainoo. If you're Kobbie Mainoo and you've not been given a minute of action in the World Cup proper and he puts you in for the 3rd and 4th place final, how are you feeling?
I think the problem will come if he doesn't put him in. If he definitely doesn't put him in for this game here, there's been a massive rift. There's been a massive problem, definitely. I think Thomas Tuchel's got to be a bit careful with this game, to be perfectly honest. If we change our team completely and France go and absolutely pump us, then that's really bad luck, because that speaks to maybe the players have got a little bit of a rift. They might have sort of down tools a little bit almost.
I think the thing Kobbie Mainoo is a wrong example in the sense he's a young player.
Yeah.
He should just be going, right, whatever, I want to play. But for some of the older players who've been there seeing it, they'll be like, oh, really?
Oh, you don't need it.
No,
you
exactly.
do not need this game. This might be the worst game of all time.
Yeah, I'm not making excuses for them, but it's been a long tournament.
Yeah.
Don't forget, the players won't be thrilled they've been knocked out. They'll be gutted, and now they've got to hang around for days, preparing properly, Fozzie, eating well, looking after themselves, because they don't know the team, they don't know who's going to play. You have to prep, and really you're going, oh my goodness.
It's mental torture, because you've got to do it all properly, but you really don't want to.
You've not won it, have you? You just go,
no, you really
why
don't want to.
In this game? But like I say, it's different for the younger players because it's a chance to play the World Cup.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, you put the shirt on with pride and go about your business properly.
John, look, enjoy it when it comes right the first game of the season. I mean, Newport Rochdale might not sound the most glamorous, but hey, it's Hartlepool Barrow, so count yourself lucky.
Way more.
Proper football.
Yeah, proper.
Good lad. John, thanks very much indeed. That was a look at the latest odds with Coral 18 plus gambleaware.org. Coming up, we turn our attention more closely to England's World Cup, if that's possible, and we'll discuss which players have increased their reputation at this World Cup.
The Coral Daily Download on talkSPORT with Coral. We're here to reward the fans this summer. 18 plus gambleaware.org.
To go, mate. I'm sorry, Jeff. Like, when we are paying £8 million for a foreign coach to come in and win us our first trophy since 1966, and that's what he does in a semi-final for an Argentinian side that were there for the taking, and to do what he did 10 times worse than anything Southgate's ever done negatively, I'm sorry, he has to go, mate. Simple as that. The FA have to make a decision, and I just didn't like his interview, the arrogance of his interview. No regrets. Yes, you have got regrets, mate. You've got regrets. There was loads of trouble after the game across the country. Everyone was together. And that's on you, Thomas Tuchel. That's on you. The negativity, cowardly tactics. You can't blame the players. I'm hearing people say, Jeff, that, the players on the pitch have got to make decisions. There's some experience. No, you listen to your coach. Your coach tells you to play a certain formation. You listen to him.
Yeah.
He has to go. Simple as that. No foreign coach ever won the World Cup. Maybe for a reason. We've given it a go now again with a foreign coach, and that's what he's done.
I mean, Alan here has just tested the same sort of thing that you were saying. So Tuchel's shortcomings have been exposed. What about the players' shortcomings? Well, the players, we've got 6 defenders on. We've got 4 central defenders on at the end for the cross that Messi puts into Laura Martinez. So, yes, I get that. But ultimately, the can has to be carried by the coach, especially with the negativity. I mean, everybody said this. But the negative... Anthony Gordon is flying. We scored a brilliant goal. Brilliant goal. You'll have loved, the fact that Kane... Declan Rice, who's soon to come off as well. Morgan Rogers. And a lovely finish to Anthony Gordon. And Gordon's feeling 10 feet tall, so what do? Oh, we'll take him off.
When you think about some of the stadiums that have hosted games in the World Cup, sometimes it's hard not to be completely overawed. But what's the biggest? One thing we have to be clear about is that older stadiums will have had higher capacities when it was standing only. A good example of this is the old Wembley. For the final in '66, the capacity was 125,000. But that was later reduced to 100 when it was converted into an all-seater in 1990. Another example is this, Mexico City's Estadio Azteca. Back in '86, it's estimated around 115,000 people watched Argentina beat West Germany to win their second World Cup. Essential modernisation so it could be used in the 2026 tournament reduced it to 83,000. You can't talk about old stadiums with high capacities without mentioning Brazil's Maracanã. Some say the jewel in football's crown. In the 2014 World Cup, its capacity stood at just under 79,000. But back in 1950, well, it wasn't official, but estimates believe 210,000 people came to this place for a winner-takes-all match between Brazil and Uruguay. That's still the world record attendance for a live football match, and let's be honest, it's not likely to be beaten anytime soon.
Good morning, this is World Cup Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling Sean Dyche and Ben Foster. We're here with Arnold Clark. Browse the UK's best used car deals for your dream car today. Check out their website for more details. Do you see that brilliant story about the boy who paid 550 quid to have, let me get this right, England World Cup winners 2026 tattooed on him in the States?
Oh, no.
Sean Carrington from Wigan.
Sean's going to regret that.
He's going to go back to the tattooist now. He's going to have added "only joking" to the tattoo. You know?
Get it changed to 3rd or 4th place underneath.
Absolutely.
Big memories.
Look, we've been talking all morning about Thomas Tuchel. We've been talking all week about him and the fact that he's questioned England's DNA, whatever that may be. He said, "I think ball possession plays a crucial role. It's maybe not in our DNA." As it is in the Spanish or Brazilian or Argentinian DNA, to take the ball and control the game and the ball, which is a big problem. What do you make of that, Ben?
Watching the Spain game the other night against France, that's how you keep the ball. And I think it comes down to bravery. We've got the players to do it, we've got the ability to do it, but it comes down to bravery. And I think once them England players put that shirt on, when it comes to the crunch moments, that's the bit that is lacking a little bit. We've definitely got the ability to do it. We've got the players to be able to do it. You watch Spain, and when they went 2-0 up, even when they were 1-0 up, they just kept doing it. You've got Fabian Ruiz and Rodri in the central midfield. At one point, they're playing two-touch over the French midfield. They're keeping the ball nice and calm. And I'm just thinking,
they had a good structure as well, though.
Really good structure, but they're drilled on it. And there's a lot of people saying, well, why can't we be drilled on it?
You've got to want the ball as well.
You've got to want it, but it's bravery, isn't it?
It is.
And bravery comes in a load of different forms. People think bravery might be a Dan Burn getting his head, and it is a form of bravery, but when it comes to the crunch moments, it's that calmness under pressure in the big calm moments where you've got to go, right, just woof, woof. And I think Argentina a bit, look at Messi, see how calm he is, and I think that filters through the team as well.
Yeah, he can carry you out of trouble, Messi, can't he? Give him the ball, he carries it up the pitch, he takes the pressure on. That's what we were lacking as well, just an individual who just could carry it up.
Oh, it'd be lovely to have had one of them, two of them at home, I think.
I think it's a bit unfair because he took Gordon off, and I think Gordon's grown into the tournament, I thought, because he had a lot going on at the beginning, which I spoke of, because with the move and all that sort of stuff, a lot to handle, if you like. But I think he's grown into it. And I was surprised. And Rashford, I know a bit question it, but as an outlet, because he is direct to Rashford, give him the ball and he'll knock it and he'll run it. It just takes you up the pitch. It just relieves the pressure. That's the bit I was surprised at.
The game was perfect for Gordon at that point as well.
I thought so,
it was perfect. Give me another half an hour, mate, of emptying the tank. Go on.
Top, the better chance you've got to break
Keep it running. Keep it running.
Yeah.
Should we be concerned about Tuchel's relationship with some of the players now? Obviously, there's been a long-running thing, it would appear, with Jude Bellingham. And then, after the game, there hasn't been any sort of open criticism of Thomas Tuchel, despite the press reports that some of the players were stunned by what they were being asked to do. We've had Harry Kane come out and say, you can't just sit back and defend. We've had Mark Gay come out and have his say as well. And then there are the players like Rashford who barely kicked the ball while they've been out there.
Before you come on, Fozzie, we were chatting about it and I brought it up about Bellingham. Before the game, I didn't say too much on it because I didn't want to rock the boat, but that didn't feel right.
No.
It just smelt wrong.
No.
Well, you've been in the game, right?
Yeah.
And I know as a manager, you wouldn't be enjoying that.
No.
Look, and I'm not blaming Bellingham because he's still young. People forget he's 22.
Yeah.
But it's just not helpful.
No,
Do you know what I mean? It's just not helpful.
I think certain other players would have answered that completely differently. I think that just speaks to their relationship, Jude Bellingham's relationship with Thomas Tuchel. If that would have been asked of Harry Kane, or maybe a bit more experience, know how to play the game a little bit better, might not have quite the ego. I'm not saying Jude Bellingham's got a massive ego and it's a problem. I think you need that as a top player. As a top player, you've got to have that little bit about you, that bit of spikiness. But I think that answer, in a nutshell, was what their relationship is.
Well, I was saying it just didn't smell right. You know what I mean? I can't put my finger on it, but there's a way of, even if it's an odd question from the report and that, it's just there's a way of handling that that's different.
Sure, yeah.
It just seemed, it was the second part of the interview. And like I said, I'm not knocking him because what a top player, by the way, but he's a young man and he's still learning about all this.
Yeah.
So I'm not knocking him. It was just the moment in time. It just wonder where they were.
A Harry Kane straight backs that. You would not believe. Oh,
of course, yeah. Look, let's turn our attention more closely to some of the players. Troy Deeney ruffled a few feathers earlier in the tournament, claiming England couldn't win the World Cup with Jordan Pickford in goal. Yesterday, he joined Drive in New York and discussed the goalkeeper once again.
As most goalkeepers would say, he wants that one again. Yeah. Look, I'm not going to jump on his back, which I think most people expect me to do. I think he made a couple of really good saves as well. The one from McAllister, really tight to his body, was a great save. The first goal, I think he should save. I think I think he is what he is. I think he's very good. I just don't think he's at that top tier.
Okay. Should have served the first goal. A lot of people are now on that particular bandwagon. I'm going to get the expert opinion in a moment, Ben, but my view was, I'm not sure you could see it, there were at least 4 or 5 England players directly in front, including Jude Bellingham, who was trying to close it down, but Look, you're the man who's been there. What did you make of it?
Yeah, so anytime a goal goes in, from a goalkeeping perspective, you can break it down. You can really look at the details as to why. Could you have done more? What could you have done? Why did it go in, basically? And the reason why the ball goes in the back of the net is because Jordan Pickford's 6'1". He's not a big, tall, imposing goalkeeper who can look over players. Emi Martinez at the other end of the pitch is 6'6", 6'7". He doesn't need to take a peek round John Stones. Jordan Pickford does. And as soon as he takes that little look to his left, if you watch the replay back, he just takes a little peek to the left around John Stones. Jude Bellingham flies in, but by the time the ball gets past John Stones, it's too late. You're not saving it. You're not getting back. He doesn't get any feet in. He can't make the save. It's as simple as that.
The top level for the season he's had as well, because obviously I'm out of Everton now, but people I still keep in touch with, so he's had a brilliant season. Then you'd expect him to save that.
Yeah.
I think
a taller goalkeeper doesn't take that look round John Stones and they look over. But with different sized goalkeepers, you get different abilities. You know, like I say, the save that Jordan makes just before the hydration break down to his right, a taller goalkeeper struggles to make that save because it's so close to your leg. It's really hard to get down there. So Jordan Pickford can make that save, whereas a taller goalkeeper might struggle a little bit more. But when those goals goes in, like the first goal, you always look at the goalkeeper and think,
how would you assess his tournament?
I think he's had an okay tournament. It's probably a 6.5 out of 10, 6 out of 10 maybe. A few ups and downs. The Mexico game, obviously, absolutely fantastic. I loved watching him come for it. For seeing him, a goalkeeper of his size on the front foot, coming out punching and catching, we need that from our goalkeeper. And in that instance, we needed it massively. But then there's a couple goals go in. The Congo goal, which I think he should have saved as well. The Norway performance, just in general, was a little bit shaky. So I think he'll come away from the tournament okay, is how he's done.
So if he's getting 6.5 out of 10 for his tournament, who's getting more than that from an England?
Well, the obvious ones, Kane. I know he had a quieter game. I get that. When it, you could say when it counts, but I would never knock him. I think he's an immaculate professional, not just on the pitch, off the pitch. What he does, what he gives. I think it's obvious his tournament. I think Bellingham, another one. I mean, I couldn't believe the question marks going into it. He'd be down on my team sheet, that's for sure.
Every day.
Yeah, every day. I agree with Fozzie. There's been some moments for other players, who've had really big moments, but not that really high level.
Anthony Gordon maybe get a decent pass.
Elliot Anderson for me has just been. He's right at that. He's right up there with Bellingham. He's done exactly what I need him to do. He's disruptive. He's high energy. He gets about the pitch like you would have played. Jed Spence talking about redemption earlier on in the tournament. We're all talking about him being Tottenham's second choice right back. He's not good enough. But then the last couple of games, last 3 games really, the 2 that he came on and the game that he started against Argentina, I was so proud of him, really. To come back and do what he did, that tackle, life was good for about 5 minutes when he made that tackle and got up and roared, and everybody got up and roared, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, we might actually go on and win this here.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, he was absolutely brilliant for much of that last game. What about the disappointments then? Who've been the real disappointments? I mean, in some cases, the boys have not had a chance, really, isn't it?
I think Saka. I think the Arsenal boys probably more. Yeah, Saka's obviously not fit. I think Reece James wasn't fully fit. Marcus Rashford didn't look like he was fully fit. Declan Rice at times didn't look like he was fully fit. I think there's some big names that if they could have shone, we might have got over the line. There might have been a bit more good feel about it. I think the team that we started with against Argentina, our hand was probably forced because Saka just wasn't fit enough to start.
I didn't think, Jeff, I said all along when we're doing these shows, I didn't think we'd been great as a team. Forget about the individuals. I think the thing we're winning, it does cover over things.
Yeah, it does.
You know what I mean? And all of a sudden we lose, and it's like devastation, But some of the other performances weren't great.
I've been saying this for 2 years now.
Do you know what does make me laugh? Do you know what does make me laugh? You know the first game against Croatia. It started off right. Everyone was like, "What a great second half!"
Yeah.
And I keep hearing it's down to 30 minutes. We had a good half. Now it's down to 25. Now it's down to we had a good 15 minutes. And it does make me laugh how people just cheer.
I would love as an England fan. I would love to see us just go out and just be so brave and dominate games. Like I say, it goes back 2 years for me. I went out to the Euros in Germany. And every game was like pulling teeth, honestly. Apart from the Netherlands game where we actually played really well. Other than that, it was like pulling teeth. It was an hard watch every single game. And every game this tournament, apart from the half an hour in the Croatia game, again has been a tough watch. I'd love to see us just go, right, we've got really good players here. Why don't we just play to the maximum of our ability?
Yeah, but ironically,
have a bit of faith.
Yeah, but ironically, Fozzie, right? Tuchel earlier on, before this game, before the obvious moment, he'd been lauded.
Yeah,
and given a better feel. No, I was talking with Jim and Simon about it, and I was saying, hang on, what's the big change from Gareth? Because I'm a fan of Gareth as a bloke and as a manager, But I wasn't defending him. I was just calling how it was. I thought, where's the big change?
It raises a lot of questions as well. What is Thomas Tuchel as a manager? You know,
that's what I mean, yeah.
When you talk about Thomas Tuchel, what do you think? What is his main attribute as a manager? And I'm still not fully sure. Is it like the fact that just his name? Is it the aura of him? Is it supposed to be his mentality, winning mentality? He's won the Champions League, for example.
Well, that's what the debate was.
Yeah, for example, but that's pretty much it.
Exactly,
you know?
yeah. So what is he? What's his style?
Simon was strong as Jess, and he's genius, and he could make these big decisions. That's what Gareth couldn't do.
Yeah.
And now Simon of all people spoke on it completely. I don't know.
Put it into reverse.
He's a super fella, Simon. He's a bright fella. But I did call it. I went, hang on a minute, what are the actual changes? And I got a bit of stick for that. And I went, what are the actual changes? You know, what are you going to do? 4-4-1-1, 4-2-3-1. You know, there are no actual changes.
No, I don't see anything
different.
different.
They're going, it's a better feel.
Different.
What feel?
Yeah.
Because John Stones does a dance. It's a better feel. No, you know, some of it is like I sit there and I marvel at the game and I marvel at the media, but sometimes I pull me out. I'm going, really? What's the outcome? The outcome is exactly the same.
Yeah, true.
So, you know, be careful. All this. There's a big change. Gareth changed everything. He brought a club mentality into international football. That's the point I was trying to make. And Tuchel saying he's brought a better feel. Like, hell, it's the same feel.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like that now.
No,
it doesn't.
Exactly that.
Jay, who's in Scotland, says, Jeff, maybe the English media and the fans need to accept there is a level, and England's level is of a quarter-final and semi-final team. Most nations know their level. But after all of the hype that England are going to win the World Cup, etc., maybe they didn't. Zero humility. Jay, thanks very much indeed. Still to come on breakfast.
Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. Spend £100 or more with a Travis Perkins trade account and you could win a brand new Ford Ranger. T's and C's apply.
Yeah, after Sean's surprise cameo appearance in the video that goes with that song, we'll be joined live in the studio by indie rock band The Blossoms to discuss their upcoming UK tour this autumn. We'll talk a bit of football as well, I would imagine.
The video is the best bit of that song, Jeff.
Yeah, well, you were everywhere. Where you start, middle, the lot.
Exactly.
And we mentioned that video. We should really be going.
Yes, exactly. That's good dance, Jeff.
Yeah. Plus, with England's World Cup journey over and with Harry Kane not getting any younger, we turn our attention to the future of English football and especially that number 9 shirt. That was our breakfast preview with Travis Perkins.
I don't know.
Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. Spend £100 or more at any Travis Perkins Hire or Benchmarks branch as a trade account holder and you could win a brand new Ford Ranger. T's and C's apply.
I wonder whether he went back, muscle memory, whether he's gone back to what happened against Mexico, where we dealt with 5 at the back and they threw things at... But this ain't Mexico.
There's 20 minutes left.
It's
20 minutes of normal time, Jace.
It's more than that.
And we had a man sent off against Mexico. You could almost accept it.
I know.
You're playing against Argentina.
Yeah.
You can't sit off for 25 minutes against Argentina. He absolutely bottled it. Thomas Tuchel's cost us the World Cup. He cost us the World Cup. We're 1-0 up. Played well first half. All right, cagey affair. We go 1-0 up. Be brave. Be brave, Thomas. This is what we brought you in for. We brought you in for this moment. We got rid of Southgate because he bottled it, because he weren't brave. We brought you in for now to make that decision. We're 1-0 up in a World Cup semi-final. Bring on Rashford. Bring on Saka. And if they score, they score. But at least we're going to go down fighting. At least we're going to go down with some pride. We fell out of the World Cup in disgrace because of him. Because of him. And we brought him in for this job. This is what we brought him in for, to get us over this line. And it's the same old England, same old crap, same old guff that I have to watch every tournament that we're in. And it's the managers tucked us up again. Tucked us up. We're dead on our feet. Got Morgan Rogers playing right wing. Jude Bellingham on the left. Brings on Nico O'Reilly. We can't get out. Harry Kane's done nothing. He's dead. Nothing. Got nothing left.
I don't.
I can't believe it, Jace.
Well, no.
Jace, I can't believe it.
No,
it's a disgrace. He should be sacked. Get him out. Gone.
I totally agree. I can't believe that we've moved on from Southgate, and it was if you look back over how we've limped out of World Cup or Euros, whatever, it was literally rinse and repeat. It's the same.
Get ready to get that winning feeling with talkSPORT Win. This summer, talkSPORT is bringing you live and official coverage of every game of the FIFA World Cup 2026. And to celebrate, we're giving away £26,000 guaranteed. Go to win.talksport.com to enter now, and you could win 26 grand in your hand, tax-free. Enter now, and you could be the next to get that winning feeling, courtesy of talkSPORT Win. Find out how to enter now at win.talksport.com.
Morning, this is talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling Sean Dyche and Ben Foster. Open Championship Day 2 well underway at Royal Birkdale now. Every shot on the course live on talkSPORT 2. I'll tell you what, Matt Wallace, he's got the worst shirt in the history of golf on today. But it's not holding him back. Hugo Chambray is there for talkSPORT. Morning, Hugo.
Morning, Jeff. Yeah, his shirt's not good, but his golf certainly is. 1969 was the last time an Englishman won the Open on English soil. And Matt Wallace has just made a 6-foot birdie putt on the par 4 ninth to take him to 4 under par, just 2 shots off the lead, currently held by Jackson Suber. Real name John Wetherington Suber III. That's a proper American name, isn't it? I thought he would go away at some point from this leaderboard, but he was 1 under through his first 2 holes today and currently has a 2-shot lead out at Royal Birkdale. There's plenty more action to come as Rory McIlroy and Matt Fitzpatrick tee off in a couple of hours' time.
The Open Championship update on talkSPORT with Arnold Clark. Buy a used car and get a free 2-year service plan.
Hugo, thanks very much indeed. Why would you change your name from John to Jackson? Live coverage of the Open is over on talkSPORT 2. Download the free talkSPORT app and swipe between our 2 stations. Now, over the last month or so, there's been plenty of discussion about world football's governing body, FIFA, and its president, Gianni, or as Donald Trump likes to call him, Johnny Infantino. Let's bring talkSPORT reporter and host Max Scott back in for more. Hi, Max.
Good morning. Yeah, I just wanted to really do a little bit of a highlight reel for FIFA because they've been centre stage, haven't they, Jeff?
Low light.
Yeah, tongue in cheek, Sean. Yeah, there's been a lot of lows for FIFA, and I just wanted to go through a list of some of their best or worst bits. And I'm going to ask you after what you think has really cut through as the worst moment for FIFA. And I'll try and go in a chronological order, okay? And we're starting with the obvious. Giving Donald Trump a peace prize for, quote, exceptional acts of peace and unity. Number 2, suspending Cristiano Ronaldo's ban for violent conduct. He elbowed Ireland's Darragh O'Shea. And that was suspended so he didn't miss the first 2 games of the World Cup. The ticket prices, a very recent example for you. FIFA created their own resale platform. In previous tournaments, resale of tickets was capped at face value, but they've done away with that. FIFA take 30% from resales, 50% from the seller, 15% from the buyer. One World Cup final ticket is just sold for £1.71 million, meaning FIFA make £513,000 from that one sale. Fans have been absolutely shafted with ticket prices.
Is that real?
Yeah.
Someone's paid 1.7 million for a ticket.
Is it on the pitch? It's got to be on the pitch.
They've got to be on
the referee.
And I'm not using the word pitch to buy that ticket.
Oh my!
What on earth is that all about?
So FIFA making a lot of money just from their own resale website, but as we know, just generally ticket prices aren't what they were told we would be in the manifesto for that. Fans have been struggling to buy tickets. That's the third one. Number 4, the introduction of hydration breaks, breaking our beautiful game down into 4 quarters. In the USA alone, £250 million has been generated by broadcasters in ad revenue from sponsors. Number 5, suspending following Balogun's one-match ban, taking calls from Donald Trump and the White House, bowing down to political interference, etc. Number 6, the flip-flopping of that England-Mexico kickoff time. Was it going to be earlier? Was it going to be later? They reverted on their decision. Original kickoff time, it ended up being an hour later anyway. Number 7, just 2 more, the introduction of a halftime show in the World Cup, not the Super Bowl, in the World Cup final. Madonna, Justin Bieber and Coldplay. So there's going to be a 25-minute to 30-minute halftime break. Lots of sports scientists say that this isn't good for the players and their recovery. Or number 8, your personal favourite, I think, Jeff. Donald Trump is going to be able to hand out the World Cup to the winner of that famous trophy.
With Johnny. They're going to do it together, aren't they? But the great thing is, because England are not in the final, as England are not in the final, as soon as the game's finished, we can just turn off, can't we? So we don't have to watch the pair of them, Laurel and Blum and Hardy, together, presenting the World Cup.
This is clickbait time, Ben.
Do you want me to dive in there first, yeah? Ticket prices for me.
Yeah.
Ticket prices. I was out there for 3.5 weeks, and I took my son to the Brazil-Norway game. Fantastic game, incredible stadium. Do you know what? We had an incredible day, but my gosh, did I have to pay for it. I've had to go through the resale sites, and I think 2 tickets, bang average seats, cost me the best part of about $3,000 they did.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, lumpy. Having said all that and all of the negatives, I've still absolutely loved this World Cup. I've loved having it on my telly.
Thing, before you get into the nitty-gritty of what you just bought, some of that is bizarre, some of them things, especially that ticket. I can't catch my breath. Who's bought that? That's madness. It has been a great World Cup.
Really good.
I mean, you've been out there, and everyone tells me who is out there said, look, I mean, I know America, not just America, but, they're built for this, aren't they? Their stadium. Yeah. You go to a university college game and the stadiums are unbelievable. So I think they are built for it. But when you add in the prices and all that, but the thing about Infantino, I agree with all of them things, but at the end of the day, he's going, what was the World Cup like? He'll be judged on what the World Cup was like, and they go, well, it was fantastic, and it brought in loads of money. And then they'll say loads of it goes to charity and all that sort of stuff, which I'm sure it does. So it's one out of a minute.
Yeah.
But some of the stuff you've just said, I mean, it has been bizarre. I mean, the halftime show. I'm a massive music fan. I love music, but come on. I mean, come on. It's
Go to Rock City instead, Sean.
Nothing wrong with that.
Don't forget the endless, the never-ending shots of Johnny Infantino watching in the stands at every single
what is that all about as well?
Yeah, and the numbers
between him and
Haaland's
dad.
64
That's all I ever see.
And John Terry.
Oh, JT.
Beck's with a glass of red wine.
I know. How many times? Surely you're like, can you just not look at something else now?
Yeah.
Can I get a low light from you, Jeff, before we wrap? Well,
it was all of it. I mean, everything you said.
I mean,
every single thing that you said there, from the ridiculous peace prize, the farcical peace prize, right at the top, to I mentioned it before. The fact that the Iranian team, and I get the situation. I mean, I understand it's not a normal situation, but their treatment was pretty appalling, really. The extra, Sean, you say it was a great World Cup. Yeah, I sort of agree to a degree, but then we have, weather delays. We have games which, from a European perspective, are starting at 1 o'clock in the morning, which are impossible to watch. So for me, okay World Cup. An okay World Cup, but nothing more than that. And I don't think FIFA take much credit from anything, to be brutally honest. If they can get something wrong, then they do.
Yeah. Well,
as a manager, for me, it's the halftime thing. It's just too long. I agree with the science side of things. You're almost having to do another warm up to go up for the second half.
Yeah.
And then you go, that can't be right.
Yeah, Shakira got a contract with them or something. She's on every World Cup show. She's on every single year. She's
Pay as you play contract, like Callum Wilson.
I love Beck. I love
Why
Beckham.
you got to bring Callum into it? It just
yeah.
comes to mind. He was on a pay as you play. He did great for West Ham last
I
year.
love Beckham. I mean, not only is he David Beckham and a legend, but how rich can you be? He's on every advert, every single time.
Out there as well. He's on the amount of adverts you see out there
It's
on the telly,
unbelievable.
on Fox Network. They're showing it. Bex is on every at Home Depot, bloody B&Q, whatever, all that.
High-fiving every star in the world.
Yes.
I mean, it must be great to be Bex. It must be great to be Bex. What a life that guy leads.
Love it. Max, thank you very much indeed. Thanks, fellas. Coming up, we'll turn our attention to the future of this England team, specifically life after Harry Kane. Who'll be England's next number 9? We'll discuss that next.
Wow. Performance of the tournament. France absolutely didn't do anything.
Hope they
Had a
whimper.
nightmare performance. Yeah, whimper without no fight. But Spain, wow. That was watching Pep Guardiola's Barcelona, that was. The way they were popping that ball past France to death. France couldn't handle the passing style of Spain. They weren't pressing as a team. You saw a team there in Spain, and you saw France with superstars that all had a nightmare of a game. And very poor performance from France. I'm sure they're going to be getting a lot of stick. Luckily, we got Emmanuel Petit on at the end of the show, and he's going to be thinking to himself, didn't see that coming.
I couldn't stop thinking about Manu last night.
Yeah,
I thought, oh my! Even the show yesterday, I felt that we had such a build-up in favour of France. Have
never
we
seen that.
completely underestimated Spain?
We've underestimated them, but rightly so in the sense of their performances in this tournament. You know, they haven't performed to the level they did last night. Sometimes we talk at start of tournaments that it's not about how you start a tournament, it's how you end them. And Spain have proved that. Drawing 0-0 to Cape Verde, and some of their performances haven't been exciting. Even the win over Portugal wasn't their greatest performance.
Yeah.
But they've kept their best form for the semi-finals, so it's going to be a scary final, whoever plays Spain. Because the way Rodri and Fabian Ruiz controlled that game, Cucurella looked like the best left-back in the world last night. The way he kept Elise quiet, that was a shadow of Elise we've seen this whole tournament. Dembele, Mbappe, Barcola, Doué, they had nothing for an organised Spanish side.
Really, I was in shock.
Yeah.
You know, I think a lot of us just couldn't.
You could probably draw a photo of the modern FIFA World Cup trophy with your eyes closed. But what about the original Jules Rimet trophy? And why was it changed in the first place? And is the trophy that gets lifted by the winning team after the World Cup final the original or the replica? The World Cup trophy hasn't always looked like this. It actually used to resemble this. Originally called Victory or Coupe du Monde, it was designed by French sculptor Abel Lafleur and debuted at the first ever World Cup in 1930. It depicted the Greek goddess of victory, Nike, holding an octagonal cup made of gold-plated sterling silver. It had a lapis lazuli base, which is that deep blue gemstone at the bottom. Renamed in 1946 to honour the FIFA president who launched the World Cup, it became then the Jules Rimet Trophy. It went on several adventures during its life, hidden in a shoebox during the Second World War to prevent theft from the Nazis, to famously being stolen in 1966 in England, only to be found by Pickles the dog. Brazil won the right to keep the Jules Rimet Trophy permanently in 1970 after winning it 3 times. There'd be more drama, though, with the trophy again stolen in 1983 in Rio de Janeiro. It's believed to have been melted down. So back to 1970 and the creation of the current and iconic 18-carat gold trophy. Standing at 36.8 centimetres tall with a base made up of 2 layers of green malachite, it's been the World Cup as we know it since the 1974 tournament. But is that the trophy that the winners get to keep? The answer is no. The original gold trophy remains with FIFA and is only displayed at special events. World Cup winners have to settle for a bronze gold-plated replica. The base of the current original has enough space to engrave the names of the winners up to and including the 2038 World Cup. So could we therefore be in for a new trophy in the coming years?
Good morning. Welcome to talkSPORT's World Cup Breakfast. I'm Jeff Stelling, with me Sean Dyche and the former England goalkeeper Ben Foster. We're here with Arnold Clark. It's the perfect time to upgrade your car. Get 2 years free servicing when you buy a used car in the upgrade event. Check it out online. Tris says, should the FA part ways with Thomas Tuchel now, knowing Pep is available and wanting to manage England? Wow, Tris, you have inside knowledge. Do we know that he wants to manage England? Surely the compensation we pay Tuchel is worth it to have the greatest manager ever at the helm. England's World Cup heartbreak, that's what it's been all about, hasn't it? But let's take a little look ahead, shall we? What does the future look like for England? Will Tuchel still be leading England for Euro 2028? Or will someone like Eddie Howe be handed the keys? Do you boys see him being in charge for the next Euros?
I'd be surprised if they make a decision on this moment. I'd be really surprised, unless it's a mutual thing where they both consider it. Yeah. But I'd be really surprised, Jeff. I think they'll let the dust settle. And everyone will. Everyone will reflect on it differently, I think, as it calms a little bit. It's raw now, isn't it? It's raw for everyone, even just sitting here. So I think that'll calm down. I would imagine after his experience that he's had, they'll debrief it, they'll learn from it and move forward until the next one. That's what I would think.
Yeah, I'd hope so. I've still got it in my head where he says, no regrets. I've got no regrets about anything. That's the bit there. Yeah. I need a little bit more accountability to, if we are in 2 years' time and we're in a similar situation, semi-final, quarter-final, and he does the same thing, because if he's got no regrets about how it went against Argentina, I think that's a little bit of a problem.
Yeah. When we look ahead, I mean, let's leave the Euros out of this for a moment. Let's look 4 years hence, because it does make you wonder whether this was our opportunity. Was this our golden generation, if you like? Harry Kane, for example, next World Cup, he will be 36, and people will say, too old to lead the line. But what are the alternatives?
I think we mentioned earlier, Jeff, in my lifetime, this is the best chance I've had, but not because I think we're amazing as a group. We've got some very talented players, don't get me wrong. But I thought the superpowers are not superpowered. And it was only France before, obviously, we saw what happened with Spain. But so they're the only ones who really come into time when everyone's going, oh, they're going to be the team to beat. You know, Spain, questioning marks, Germany, question marks, you know, us, maybe. So I just think it was the best chance.
Yeah.
That's the bit that is driving me mad. Because again, we get close and then it just fades away so quickly.
Yeah, the playing field seems to have levelled a little bit. Like I say, I was in the same camp as you. I went to watch France earlier in the tournament against Sweden, and the front 4, 5, 6 of them frightened the life out of me. Honestly, I thought, wow, there's no way that these guys can't win the World Cup. And then I watched them against Spain, and then I'm thinking, Spain are some team, by the way. Like, there'd be a struggle to play against. But talking about the strikers you mentioned there, I don't know where we're going to find one from. If you look at the alternatives right now, and even the players coming through academies, it's really hard to find that out-and-out striker. You look at somebody like a Haaland, for example. He's such an anomaly. He really is, because academies don't allow that kind of player to get through the system, because they want a player now like Harry Kane. They want a striker who can drop deep, get hold of the ball, turn, pass a move, get involved with everything. And Erling Haaland flies in the face of all of that, and academies just won't allow it anymore.
I was saying recently, Ben, on another talkSPORT show, funny enough, I was talking about the future of the game, and I think 2 strikers will come back round. And therefore, if academies start doing that, you're going to produce more strikers. Because if you've got 2 strikers playing up front in every youth team and every team as they grow older, I think that'll create more strikers.
More strikers going to get through, going to make it through,
Whereas there's been, for the last 10, 15 years, been this obsession with one striker, haven't they? You know what I mean? And the 3 in midfield. I just think it'll come out. Spain did it against France. You know, dropping one of the strikers off, and it was almost like, well, it was a 4-4-2 out of possession. And then there's the freedom to go and work from that, to go and play. But you remember the days I was using Cole and Dwight York as an example. Do you remember their connection?
Oh, beautiful.
And yet you wouldn't say it's 2 strikers. It was still like Dwight York, more like a number 10, and Andy Cole was the main striker. But what I'm saying is the variance of that will bring more strikers through. Now, that's not going to affect what we're talking about for the next tournament. But I think that's the future of the game. I think 2 strikers is going to come back into football, and therefore you will grow more strikers.
If you look right now, you know, aside from Harry Kane, I mean, look, Ollie Watkins will be 34. Ivan Toney will be 34. You look through the Premier League sides, you know, and their current strikers, you know, even you know, and you've got maybe Dominic Solanke at Spurs, Eddie Nketiah at Palace, can't get a game really. Liam Delap, who was, you know, the great hope of strikers.
He will continue to improve.
And hopefully he will, you know. I like him. But outside of that, you know, you've got... And do you look abroad to the guys who played for the under-21s? Jonathan Rowe? Is it Bologna?
Yeah, it's early.
Do you look down to Jay Stansfield? But I don't know.
But then on the other hand, so, you know, Argentina are looking, well, Messi can't continue forever. They're looking the same. You know, everyone will be looking for that next key player. And Kane has proved his worth time and time again. And that day has to come when they stop. But don't be surprised, when someone jumps out football. We've seen it in club level. You know, I've done it many times when the emergence of someone else and they suddenly just go boom. So, but we are going to miss Kane.
Even if you can't find even if you can't find the striker, just talking about France for a minute. When I went to watch them against Sweden, they play with the front 4, right, of Mbappe scoring the goals and he's getting in there. He's not an out-and-out striker. He's not an out-and-out striker. I promise you, all 4 of them are rotating and overlapping, underlapping. Like it's like they're crawling through each other's legs at times. They were everywhere, honestly. So even if we haven't got that striker, we might have to adapt and play a slightly different style of players.
And maybe Jude Bellingham playing a more forward role.
Sent forward to Spain as well. Oyarzábal, never say his name. You know what? He knows the game.
Not an out-and-out striker, though.
But he knows the game.
Yeah, he knows the game.
His game knowledge, really clever. I was so impressed with him. I don't know that much about him, but whenever I see him, I think, you know the game.
But he suits that system really well, because they play for it. They know what they've got. They know they haven't got an out-and-out big man striker that can put the ball.
But
so they have to play a different way.
Look at Rodri, what a player is, because he's like playing more like a 2. And yet he plays in a 1 normally, you know what I mean? So his cleverness to go back in, his return to shape is incredible. Honestly, he pops out of his slot, he presses. Next thing you know, he's on the edge of the
field. We've had obviously after his injury. I know we're going off topic here a little bit, but after the big injury that he had after winning the Ballon d'Or and all that, and everyone's saying, he's lost that yard pace. And
he never had it in the first place.
You don't need it.
His pace is in his head.
You don't need it. Him and Fabio Ruiz the other night, honestly, it was just beautiful.
It's different.
It really was.
Different. But not just the play. Their reading of the game, the stuff
great, isn't it?
With all due respect, the stuff that fans don't always see. You know what I mean? The off-the-ball work, the shape of the team.
If we could have a couple Spaniards in our England team, we could have a couple of them in our midfield.
Yeah, but you sound like a manager now. You go, but just add that one.
When you've got Pedri's not starting
exactly
at the moment.
We'll take Pedri. I'll take Pedri.
Yeah, all day long.
But Cherky wasn't getting in the team. And everyone's been raving about it all season.
I mean, that was. I mentioned some amazing stat earlier on to you, Sean, about Fabian Ruiz, 49 caps for Spain and he's never been on the losing side.
What chance
he is smoking a bag.
I think he'll be starting against Argentina.
It's a good chance.
Gosh.
Yeah. But it is a concern, isn't it, for any, whether it's Thomas Tuchel who's still in charge or any future England manager, the fact that maybe that golden generation is just disappearing.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like I said, the biggest frustration is the bigger picture for me, because I just had that feeling. I think we all did, actually, and nothing to do with Tuchel and the team. Your own feeling as a football guy in this country. I just going into this, I thought this is our best. Well, in my lifetime, this is our best chance. And I know we could say that the last time around when Gareth took us so close and all that, but you get what I mean. This time, I just went. There's a group of really good players here, top players, some of them. I will say, and I'm going to back the manager and to protect him a little bit. There've been people coming to the tournament who are not quite fit, and that is a blow for any manager, any country, any team. When you lose players or they're not quite bob on, Saka, I think he can unlock things. He's a very, very good player. And he's not been quite right. I mean, there's a few, and Declan's had a big season, played loads of football, and what a player he is, but he's not been quite on it.
Rashford, Reece James, little injury.
The back four have just been a bit wobbly, I mean, they've never... like I said, I would have took Maguire. He'd played for me.
Just going back quickly to Harry Kane. I still think in 2 years' time for the Euros, I think he's good to go still. I'm not worried about Harry Kane.
No, not the Euros.
And he's getting. I think he's almost like we're getting away from this World Cup, and Harry Kane's taking an absolute battering from the media, from the fans. And I don't think it's his fault. The game against Argentina, he's. I think he should have just been bought off. It's not his fault that he drops that deep and plays that way. That's his style of play.
But knowing him as a little bit like I do, he's a top pro. I think he wants to. He's one of them. He's going, no,
he's so willing. He's so willing to help out.
Sometimes got to make a decision.
He'll sacrifice himself.
Yeah, he will.
And just be willing to help. But I think that comes down to the manager there to go, right, Harry, appreciate it. You've ran your race now. Let's get somebody on who's going to stretch it now.
Brilliant. Thanks for the moment, boys. Coming up, they've survived their night out with Sean Dyche. One of the best bands in the country, Blossoms, are with us next live here in the studio on talkSPORT.
Couldn't get anywhere near Spain, could they, in the midfield? Do you think that the manager should have made a change at half-time? Maybe Digne come off for Hernandez, and also maybe an extra midfielder come on for an attacker?
Well, the fact that Rabiot left at the half-time because he received straight away, yellow card. He was probably our best player on the pitch for the first 45 minutes. But anyway, you could have changed the entire team, against Spain in the half-time. It would have changed nothing. So I think we looked so nervous, so far away from our level. Tactically and technically, we were so poor. Credit to Spain. They really deserve to win. They play really well. I thought that we were different with what happened, 4 years ago. But it was kind of the same game. And they control everything. We had no inspiration, no creativity, no personality. And it was so sad to watch them because I had the feeling watching the game that it was kind of the same game against Morocco, but...
Do you know what was baffling me, Emmanuel, was whenever you won the ball back, just give the ball away cheaply. Everybody was. No shots on target.
We were so far away from each other, Yeah. So, I think tactically we lost the game, but technically as well, we were so poor, But we looked so nervous. So I still don't understand what happened yesterday. There's so many things that we're missing in that game. And that's why I think we should get over it and still work on it. And but Spain are still our worst enemy, actually. And it was a lesson of football yesterday, to be honest with you.
Ready to get that winning feeling with talkSPORT Win. This summer, talkSPORT is bringing you live and official coverage of every game of the FIFA World Cup 2026. And to celebrate, we're giving away £26,000 guaranteed. Go to win.talksport.com to enter now, and you could win 26 grand in your hand, tax-free. Enter now, and you could be the next to get that winning feeling, courtesy of talkSPORT Win. Find out how to enter now at win.talksport.com.
Good morning, this is World Cup Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling Sean Dyche and Ben Foster. I'm delighted to say now we have reunited Sean with his beloved Blossoms.
Yeah, great lads.
Yeah, the band join us live in the studio right now. Morning, lads.
Good morning.
Good. Look, I was listening to some of your stuff last night and watching some of your videos, and obviously one in particular, which had this fella on it. How did that happen?
Well, we're just cheeky.
I should be banging my head, shouldn't I?
No. We're just very, very cheeky. Do you know what I mean? And when we meet someone who we're like fond of, do you know what I mean? We always go, "Do you mind getting in a video?" Or
met Rick Astley.
Yeah. Sorry. Whoa.
Yeah, you get
you met at a Rick Astley.
Yeah,
and he'll never give you up. Sorry, I couldn't resist it.
Yeah, we became friends with Rick over the last couple of years.
Yeah.
And so did Sean. It would seem you met Glastonbury.
Yeah, I'd seen these play with doing the
Isle of Wight.
Yeah,
that's
and
it.
the Isle of Wight. The Isle of Wight. I first saw him, and I didn't realise. I gave him a call out. You know, I got interviewed about music, and I said, "Oh, I tell you, I saw the Isle of Wight Blossoms." I was actually there with Sabian, and I said, "Blossoms were brilliant," and they heard it. So I didn't remember this. It was you telling me, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He was telling me. So this gig, Rick Astley, who I got to know at Glastonbury. These were in the boxers, and they said, "Would you fancy coming on a video?" I went, "Absolutely right." I love it. What's wrong with it? Brilliant. It was a great crack.
You know what? Top actor. Do you know what I mean?
I wouldn't say
no joke, because we filmed the first bit. I remember we were going, "Oh, you can act a bit here. We'll get him in. We'll keep doing it. Yeah, we'll keep doing it and getting him to do more and more and more."
We laughed. We had a good day.
It was really, really good.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a brilliant video as well. It turns out to be an absolutely brilliant video. You big football fans?
Yeah. All our lives.
Yeah. As gutted as everyone else about England?
Yeah, it's heartbreaking. We were saying it's the hope that kills, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We were all sat round at mine, and then you just like...
There's a song in there somewhere.
I know, it'll be there.
5 minutes to go, but it just feels like a similar story we've had before, doesn't it?
See, yeah, I know you're both City fans.
Yep.
So look, a lot of people have been, coming on the text this morning saying, "Let's get Pep, let's get Pep, let's get Pep." Would he be the right man?
Do you know what though? You can't, how like intense he is as a manager and how much time he needs to play. Like, you see it all the time. Like, for example, Mahrez's first season, it's like, oh, give him a season to like bed in and like, learn. I don't know football in and out like that, but like I imagine to sort of rethink it or learn the way you've been playing or get into shapes or whatever. So I don't know. I suppose the question is, would he be able to do it in? Do you know what I mean? Short spurts of like having a team for
players, throwing them together and bombing
exactly.
them.
Yeah,
no one's going to say no, are they?
No.
I don't think.
No.
But
Apart from him, you mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I think it's kind of let the dust settle. Like it's raw, isn't it? Like, I think you got to give him.
I'll be amazed if he becomes England manager.
Yeah.
From his point of view, not from my point of view. Top manager.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, that's it. Everyone would have him, wouldn't they?
I think it'd be for him.
Yeah.
Oh, you two are looking incredibly bright this morning because you had a night out with Sean Dyche last night.
Only had a couple.
It was very civilised, yeah.
Got Dyched.
Yeah, we got Dyched.
It didn't involve a curry then?
No, my mate's got a gaff this one at the Globe down the road. And him and his staff kindly looked after us. Said, great, I love it down there. So, I've been going there for years. And I said to the lads, wanted to meet over there. So they came, we had a nice bit of food. And they put us in a nice little private area looking over St Paul's. It's a great, well, you know it, from walking down there. Beautiful place.
Yeah.
We had a nice bit of dinner and a nice few drinks.
Yeah.
We had a bit of fun.
Reminisced on some stories.
We did. Yeah. I loved it because we were at Glastonbury and we were actually watching Haircut 100. And I loved it because when people were in the bands and that, I remember saying to someone, I went, are they playing tight? They sound really tight to me. You know, his Haircut 100 had been going for years, and he went, yeah. And I love that respect, you know. And he went, forget whether you like the music. I love that about bands and gigs. And they go, oh no, these are tight. Yeah. And we had a good crack, didn't we?
Yeah, it was really good.
So, what's Glastonbury like then? I mean, is that the World Cup final for a band like you?
I was saying this, like, there's weird similarities with like football and music. Do you know what I mean? Like, sort of album releases are like sort of big games. Do you know what I mean? Like the derbies and stuff like that, and then Glastonbury and big festivals are probably like...
Yeah, and there's like a prep before it, and everyone's kind of fired up. And there's a crowd, obviously.
Yeah.
But, Glastonbury is the kind of pinnacle of festivals, I would say. It's kind of... It's one of them where people say, oh, you've got to go to experience it. And you think, all right, do you know what I mean? But it is actually...
We were really lucky. Melvin Benn is a really kind fellow in the music industry. He sorted us out with a Winnebago thing, so Tom couldn't spend a bit of time there. And we're
really roughing it then, were you?
Oh, yeah.
It was so tiring. Never joking about it. It's a nice place in the middle of the festival. So we're very fortunate. I've been very fortunate. These guys and all the people I know are amazing. How generous they are, and how they look after you. It's absolutely fantastic. And we had a great crack there, didn't we? It was really good,
Just from an enjoyment point of view, was that the most enjoyable gig, or what's been your most enjoyable gig?
We were saying you always end up loving like Hull on a Tuesday night. You know, on a mad one.
You're the first person ever to say.
Exactly. We have had some amazing, like, you came to Wythenshawe Park. Wythenshawe was like a big home. You know, we're like grew up 15 minutes from Wythenshawe Park, so it was a hometown gig.
I thought the two smaller ones in the O2 in Manchester. They were good. They were really good. I really enjoyed them.
Sometimes you can have one which you put too much on, and then you come away kind of maybe like a big game sometimes where you've overthought it, or it's just, and then there's less pressure on Hull on a Tuesday night is what I'm saying. So then you just end up really loving it. Wythenshawe Park was pretty special.
Yeah, it was.
I thought that was great.
It was really good. And but it's like it's good after. Yeah, it's good after it. Do you know what I mean? After it's done and the pressure's off, you're like, oh, that was. I'm sort of glad it's over. That was amazing. But like Tom was saying, sometimes you do ones and you're just like doing it.
Shed 7 were good. They're re-emerging in really good. It was a really good lineup. And these were headlining. It was terrific. I think that was my best one of yours. I thought it was brilliant.
Yeah, it was.
And Isle of Wight was brilliant, to be fair, as well.
I mean, you've had a great run. How long have you been together for now?
Well, Chris just said it on the radio. We were just on then. He said they've been making bangers for 15 years. I was like, whoa, Jesus. Yeah. I don't know if it's quite. That might be 13. if we're gonna have it right. Do you know what I mean? Let's not wish our lives away.
It's got to the point where other bands like come up to us at festivals now, but I started because of you, and I'm like, all right, calm down.
Grew up listening to you when I was like 10. And
that rock star story of how you met as well, working in a hotel.
Me and Tom met because we had 100% attendance. I mean, it's even worse than like
school trip to Alton.
That's like getting the fair play award.
I know. My player's player.
Most improved player.
I get that every year, Sean.
Are you still loving it?
Oh yeah, probably more than ever. I think I was saying, you go through like the first bit where you come out and everyone's kind of, you've got this huge buzz and everything's new, and you kind of every week's just different, and you're traveling the world like with your best mates. Like you can't not enjoy that. But then it kind of, you settle into it a bit, and not that you get complacent or you take it for granted, but there's an element of that, and then you come out the other end of being like, do you know what, I really, really appreciate this, and like, what an amazing life, and we get to do this. Do you know what I mean? You kind of care what people think. Like, I do anyway. Now
you need to stay grounded, don't you? Do you know what I mean? It's very easy to get sort of taken up and, do you know what I mean, thrown away. But we still live in Stockport. Do you know what I mean? We still live at home with all like around our mates and family and stuff. So it's quite good to They'll quickly knock us into shape if we.
But in your bar, they've got a nice little bar in Stockport. I've been in there.
Yeah,
nice. Yeah. Had a beer with them. Charlie's out there. I can see Charlie. Look, hi mate.
Yeah, look. Joyce.
There he is. Hi,
Mr. Salt and Pepper Grinder.
Did a theatre in Stockport, but more importantly, Hartlepool went there and won 1-0 in a playoff semi-final. Sorry, Stockport fans. So look, you've got a new album coming up, and you've got an arena tour as well. So tell us about that.
Yeah, new album we've made. It's out on the 2nd of October.
That's the one.
And the arena tour's literally just after that.
Yeah.
November into December.
And where are you going?
We're doing Cardiff,
Yeah.
Birmingham,
Glasgow.
London, Manchester.
Got 2 nights in Manchester, which is good.
Brilliant.
Yeah, it's really, really good. Proper exciting. Sort of
It's like the next step up kind of thing.
There'll probably be some hangers on during the course of the tour.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Sean's first name on the list.
You're not wrong, yeah. No.
Oh, and you're welcome as well, Jeff. You want to come down.
Brilliant. Thanks. I'd absolutely love to. I'd absolutely love to. Look, brilliant to have you in today, lads.
No, thanks for having us.
It's the wrong end of the day for you boys, really, isn't it? So.
Oh, no.
No, we're used to this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Played already as well. It's brilliant, that.
We've actually just not gone to sleep.
That wasn't my fault.
Oh, great stuff. Fantastic. Hey, look, thanks for coming in. Made his day, made our day as well. And good luck with the tour.
Thanks very much.
Different class, lads.
Brilliant to have Blossoms on the show this morning. Sean loves seeing them live. So go and get a ticket for that tour right now. Coming up, we'll turn our attention to the World Cup final live on talkSPORT. Can Messi go on to win his 2nd? We'll discuss that next.
Mick McCarthy joined Simon and Piers, decided to take Piers Morgan on regarding an incident way back in 2009 when, as Wolves manager, he rested a number of players for a trip to Old Trafford.
I've always respected you hugely, genuinely, as a manager.
Except when I dropped 10 players at Wolverhampton.
Yeah, well, that was terrible.
You did say something that I was particularly unhappy about.
I thought it was shocking.
Yeah.
Yeah, go on. What was your problem with what I said? You must have known I was right.
You're never right, mate. you just antagonise people with your comments, which you're doing on this show quite clearly.
No.
So when you said it, my job is to win games.
Yes.
We went to Spurs the Saturday before. We won 1-0 with about 35% possession. We've got Manchester United on the Tuesday. I went there and I dropped 10 players. I have a squad of 22. If I'm a manager, it's my right to manage that team how I see and get results.
And it's my right as an Arsenal fan who you were directly impacting with your cowardice
because you weren't good enough
you out on it.
Because you weren't good enough to win the title, and that Sir Alex won it again, and he won it. You weren't good enough, so you blame me, which is real bad on my part.
I know what Roy Keane's problem was.
No,
just to be clear, by dropping 10 players, you let United walk all over you, which had a direct impact on my team's chances of winning the league. I thought that was an appalling abrogation of your duty as a manager to entertain the fans with the best available team.
Clear you up. My duty was to beat Burnley on the Saturday, and we did.
Well, Mick hasn't forgotten, has he? That's for sure.
Oh, no, he went further than that. He said that...
USA 94. What a summer when football became soccer in the blazing heat. It was also the tournament where fashion peaked. This, my friends, is Alexi Lalas. No, he wasn't Scottish. That's a full-blooded American right there. But in all seriousness, forget the hair. Look at the jersey. Dreamy 90s clobber. And it was everywhere. That's the legend that's Georgie Hagi of Romania, OVS, Brazilian shot stopper, Taffarel, and a Dutch guy. I mean, this was the period we were getting top quality in the Premier League too, but the national team designers raised the level even higher. The pitch was their catwalk as we got Germany, Bolivia, Sweden absolutely rocking it. The kind of kit we're shelling out for on retro sites to this day. And Spain, another beauty. 10 points if you recognise that guy. Of course, this was America, so the cheerleaders didn't want to be outdone. But in the end, 2 of the less is more designs made it to the final. And when Baggio blazed over, Dunga got the honours. The entire summer was an explosion of colour that would have broken Instagram. Sorry, just trying to get that Larson one off eBay. 70 quid. Bargain.
Open Championship update on talkSPORT with Arnold Clark. Choose from over 20,000 used cars online and score your dream car today.
Good morning to you, 9:35, Friday, July the 17th. This is World Cup Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling Sean Dyche and Ben Foster and Arnold Clark. Brands of the UK's best used car deals and score your dream car today. Check out their website for more details. Don't forget that every shot of the Open is live on talkSPORT 2 at Royal Birkdale. Let's get a quick update on this one. One or two of the leaders just faltering a little. Hugo Chambra.
Yeah, Jeff, the lead was to -6. That was Jackson Suber who had it there, but he bogeyed the 6th and the 7th holes. Matt Wallace and Pearson Coody, who's got a twin brother, Parker Coody, who is also a professional golfer. They were at 5 under, but now all of those players at -4, tied with Sungjae Im and Dan Brown, who will tee off later this afternoon. So even though we were expecting the course to play easier this morning than later on in the day, it's still showing its teeth early on.
Hugo, thanks very much indeed. Don't forget, every shot is live on talkSPORT 2. And don't forget, too, that time is running out for the chance to bag a massive £26,000 in our latest competition. Just imagine what you could do with that. It's completely tax-free, but you've only got a few days left. All you have to do is head to talksportwin.com and do it now. I've got a quick question before we go on any further, and quite a few people have asked this one, so I'm going to read the latest version of it out. Andy, he says, "Morning, Jeff. Can you ask Dyche, would he be interested in international management, and would he take the Scotland job?"
I was asked that recently. I don't think so. You never know, but I don't think so at the moment. I'm enjoying life. I'm enjoying this side of it. Doesn't mean I won't do it ever again or anything.
It's a part-time job, isn't it, international management, though?
Yeah, well, it can be, but some of the FAs want you to get involved more, so it's not just the slot when you're doing the game.
Right.
You know, some want you to actually get involved in the system. So, but nothing. It's not about Scotland. Just on the international side of things, I don't think that's for me at the moment.
Okay. Andy, that's your answer. Not at the moment. Right, time now to build up to Sunday's World Cup final with Burger King.
The Breakfast Briefing on talkSPORT with Burger King Burger Buddies. Total tournament satisfaction delivered by the experts. Order now on the BK app.
So, Sunday at 8, stage set for the biggest match in football. Argentina can become the first nation to retain the World Cup since Brazil in 1962. And, of course, they're led by the great Lionel Messi, who for years and years and years was such huge success in Spain. Spain themselves, the European champions. They've won their last 4 major tournament finals, losing only once to France in Euro 84. Win, and they'll be reigning world and European champions for the second time in 2 decades. That's not too shabby. Look, Spain, I think the bookmakers we heard earlier on, they start favourite for this one. But we saw in the game against England that the Argentinians, Sean, Ben, they don't know the meaning of defeat, do they?
I think that's been their biggest quality, hasn't it, really? I mean, apart from the fact they have got quality, we know that, but that mentality, I think, and it's serving them well. I still think Spain will take it. They just got that relentlessness about them, Spain, I think, and now the shape and everything, the basics of the game, they do it so well. So I think it'll be hard for Argentina, but you never know. One-off game, and they've still got top players, and Messi's turned up again, like he does. You know what I mean?
The thing is, Spain beat France because they're a better team. They're a better team than what France were. And I think Argentina beat us, again, probably because they're a better team. They know how to get over the line better than what we did, whether it was by being naughty and kicking and pinching and scratching. No matter what, they did the job. They did what they needed to do. And I don't think it's going to be that easy for Spain. I really don't. I think I think Argentina will maybe find a way, you know. It would not surprise me if they found a way to do it as well.
That's a good shout. Yeah, I don't think it'll be easy.
No.
I just fancy Spain to have just that edge.
Oh, if they show the quality and don't get involved in all the other stuff that Argentina want them to get involved in, they should walk it. But Argentina are world class at drawing everybody into it.
We've talked quite a bit about Spain's midfield already. What about Lamine Yamal? What have you made of his World Cup so far?
He's so young.
It's incredible, isn't it?
And he's still got miles to go in his game and in his life, you know. But I mean, on this early showing what he's delivered.
Yeah.
And not even, do you know what? It's not even, it's the threat that he poses as well. Don't forget, you know, his pace and his agility and the way he shifts the ball. And sometimes Ben will tell you that it's the opposition, they almost get nervous about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that's another powerful thing psychologically. When you got someone like that, you know, they're all thinking if the ball goes out to him, they're thinking,
oh no,
anything could happen.
It's because he's relentless. He has full belief in his ability, and he knows what he can do. That
he doesn't lose faith.
He won't. Yeah, he won't lose faith. He won't waver from his objective is to take you on, get in behind, pull it back, get a crossing, get a shot off.
Put a worldie crossing the other day with the outside of his left. He didn't even let the defender get close to him. As he saw the defender, he went pop and just popped it.
It's his acceleration as well. If you're playing left back against him, if you're playing centre back against him, and he stands you up, you're in a world of trouble because his acceleration from when he gets the ball out and starts moving. It's like nobody else that I've seen.
I'd have been doing the old accidental stand on his toes, straight the back of his Achilles and all that, you know what I mean?
You might have seen there's a completely real photo gone viral of Messi bathing a 6-month-old Yamal during a 2007 photo shoot. Absolutely astonishing, you know. Lionel Messi and 6-month-old Lamine Yamal. Incredible. And Yamal would become the very first player to win the World Cup.
That's true.
Oh, there you
were
go.
joking.
There it is.
I thought you were joking, yeah.
That is incredible, isn't it?
My word.
Look at that. Wow.
It's crackers, isn't it?
Who would have imagined? Here we are, World Cup final. They're both going to feature in. Absolutely.
Lionel's
awful bad, isn't it?
Look, Lamine Yamal will be the first player to win both the World Cup and the Euros before the age of 20. I've got to ask you, Ben, about the respective goalkeepers. Obviously, Argentina have got Emi Martinez in goal. Arsenal fans can't understand why David Raya is not the Spanish first-choice goalkeeper, but watch Unai Simon, you do understand why, don't you?
Yeah, proper goalkeeper. They're so lucky, Spain. They've got some real top goalkeepers playing all across Europe, top teams as well. But it's a bit of a similar situation to Jordan Pickford, that Unai Simon does the job like you wouldn't believe. And for a manager, they need to know that they can rely on their goalkeeper. The first and foremost, can I rely on my goalkeeper? Can he step up on the big stage, the big moments, and can he deliver reliably 7 out of 10? And that's what Unai Simon does. David Raya might technically be a better goalkeeper, might be, but it's by the by. The big thing is, can he do it on the big stage? And that's what Simon does. And Emi Martinez for Villa, I absolutely love him. Honestly, I absolutely love him. What a goalkeeper. I was worried that if we'd have got to penalties against Argentina, I would almost guarantee we'd have lost, because that guy standing in goal is an absolute beast. He really is. And I think he gets in the players' heads before they've even taken the penalty.
Yeah, and when we talk about mentality, you can see it in Emi Martinez.
Incredible.
Can't you know? Yeah, absolute beast. So, be interesting to watch the goalkeepers. It's going to be. I know we're disappointed England are not there, but on the face of it, it's going to be a smashing game. It's a great game to watch, and one which will hopefully grace a World Cup final. And that was a roundup of all the latest action. Thanks to Burger King. Big thanks to Sean, because he's off now, part-timer. Yeah, he's off to Virgin for the time being, aren't you?
No, it's great, Jeff. It's great. Always enjoyed working with you. You know that. And wonderful listeners. And see Fozzie as well.
Brilliant, mate. We'll see you again very, very soon. Coming up, we'll continue to get Ben's thoughts on what went wrong for England. And we'll also ask him how much he thinks Morgan Rogers is worth. That's next.
The Breakfast Briefing on talkSPORT with Burger King Burger Buddies. Iconic winners delivered in the box every time. Order now on the BK app.
when we have a 4-2-4 system. A players like Olmo, if you look at him, he's always between two lines. Yep. This player, you saw it in the game with Belgium. You saw it in the game with Portugal. He is exactly the kind of, I would say, a virus who is entering in the blood of the opponents, and he killed us. He was one of the players perfectly suited to kill us.
Yeah. Can I just ask your thoughts on Mbappe last night as well? I mean, did he let himself down, Eric? I know he's a big player, he's a big personality, but even walking off last night, not shaking anybody's hands, I mean, how does that look?
It looks like the real Mbappe is back. There is two Mbappe, the one who is having a mission and the one who can be positive and working and sharing and being the leader of a team. And when he loses his gift, his toy, when the toy is broken, suddenly the teenager who is part of him comes back, the one who is selfish, the one who is a bit aggressive when he gets a yellow card with the goalkeeper, the one who doesn't share hands with opponent, the one who suddenly in the last 20 minutes he knew the game was lost and he played for himself. He made some useless kicks, shots. Sorry. So altogether, we are back with the Mbappe from Paris Saint-Germain, the Mbappe sometimes of...
Get ready to get that winning feeling with talkSPORT Win. This summer, talkSPORT is bringing you live and official coverage of every game of the FIFA World Cup 2026. And to celebrate, we're giving away £26,000 guaranteed. Go to win.talksport.com to enter now, and you could win 26 grand in your hand, tax-free. Enter now, and you could be the next to get that winning feeling, courtesy of talkSPORT Win. Find out how to enter now at win.talksport.com.
The Open Championship update on talkSPORT with Arnold Clark. Get a discounted home charger from just £549 when you buy an electric car today.
Nice one. Morning, it's Friday, July the 17th. 9:47. This is World Cup Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling, and the former England goalkeeper, Ben Foster. One or two people have texted the same sort of thing here. Frex in Carlisle says, one crumb of comfort for England. Glad we didn't lose on penalties. I sort of agree. It doesn't really matter too much, does it, how you lose if you lose? Right, Rory McIlroy's just over 20 minutes away from starting his second round at the Open at Royal Birkdale. Difficult first round, that's for sure, certainly with the putter. His Ryder Cup teammate Shane Lowry's on the first tee right now. Let's head over to talkSPORT 2 to listen in.
Spoke about the putt from JJ Spawn, but in the early hours of Monday morning, many of us screamed the house down and said, come on, Aaron, when that putt went in on 17. He took his chance to win his first major.
Chef white trousers, dark top. That looks good. And that also is bounding down the fairway and will just catch the lightish rough to the right edge of the fairway.
On the tee from the USA, Brooks Koepka.
What's he going to do today, Soph?
I think that's the thing with golf, isn't it? They'll stand on the first tee, all that level par as such, wondering what will happen. How will the momentum swing? A lot lighter framed Brooks Koepka these days. 3 wood for the American. He's just moving one from left to right off the dune. He's going to face a longer shot in, and it's all trampled down that right-hand side of the first.
Well, he starts his second round at level par, and following this 3-ball, we have Amelia and Ramy, and actually that drive from Lowry, Ramy, I mean, typical sort of effort that you'd come up with, but how much are you looking forward to watching these 3 today?
Oh, Marcus,
Yeah, just missed Shane Lowry's drive, but straight down the middle on the first. Don't forget, every shot live on talkSPORT 2 over the weekend. Koepka, Rye and Shane Lowry. That's quite a group, isn't it? Certainly one that you'd want to be following. Mind you, game 20 is pretty tasty as well, with McIlroy, Schauffele and Matt Fitzpatrick as well. They go off at 9 minutes past 10. Remember, it's live over on talkSPORT 2. Let's finish with a bit of transfer talk now with Ben. Some of the World Cup players who could be on the move now that the tournament is over. And obviously Morgan Rogers being linked pretty strongly with Arsenal at the moment, reportedly their number 1 target. Aston Villa set to ask for £130 million for him, even though you might have heard earlier on that stats suggested he was the 64th best player in the Premier League last season. It's nonsense, isn't it? What you can do with stats, eh?
The eye test, I'll trust my own eyes.
Yeah.
Really good player, really good potential. Awful lot of money, awful lot of money. But in fairness to Aston Villa, if somebody tries to buy one of your star sort of homegrown players, you name your price, and if they're willing to pay it, then so be it. But I just think from Villa's perspective, it's an absolute body blow. It really, really is, because they've already lost Yuri Tielemans, Man United,
which is a major blow.
Andre Onana did his cruciate in the World Cup, and now you're looking at losing Morgan Rogers. It's massive. Honestly, it's an absolute massive blow for them. And even though it's an awful lot of money, to replace it, that's the problem.
Yeah. Do you think it will get to the stage where Unai Emery is thinking to himself, look, I can't carry on being as successful as I have been at this club. Maybe it's time, while my stock is high, to make a move.
Yeah, totally agree. For me, one of the best managers in the Premier League. If you watch Villa, the way they play, their style of play, he coaches that team to an inch of perfection. Honestly, it's absolutely brilliant to watch. Everybody knows their job role. Everybody overlaps, underlaps. And if somebody's not doing what they're supposed to be doing, he'll hoik you off and bring somebody else on as well. And I think if players are getting sold, not under your nose, because you've got to accept that kind of money, £130 million, and it's the going rate, isn't it, as well, especially in the Premier League, especially if you're English. But I just think it's an awful lot of money. It really, really is. Considering you've seen some of the players playing in the World Cup this summer, some real talents that you could probably get for maybe a quarter or maybe half of the price of that as well.
And from an Arsenal perspective, though, look, they're used to spending big recently. They paid over £100 million for Declan Rice, and you've seen the impact that he has had on that club, and obviously with inflation and so on and so forth. How do you see Morgan Rogers fitting in there? Where would they use him?
Well, Trossard obviously leaving. I still can't wrap my head around Trossard leaving. I really can't. My son's an Arsenal fan, and I've taken him to a few Arsenal games last season. Every time we went to watch them, Trossard was brilliant. Honestly, his work rate, quality on the ball, what he does for the team, scoring important goals. I still don't know why you've let that guy walk out the door for not a lot of money as well. I think, 18 million, 16 million, something like that. I just think keeping those kind of big names, big characters, big players around the building is more important than selling them for that amount of money. So I think he'll probably take over in that role a little bit more. Obviously, I think Gabriel Martinelli's probably struggled a little bit last season as well. It's a fantastic signing for Arsenal. It's as simple as that, really.
Yeah, but as you say, a body blow as far as Aston Villa are concerned. L'Equipe is reporting that Michael Olise has told his France teammates he wants to move to Real Madrid. Bayern Munich to Real Madrid. Good move. I mean,
right. I went to watch France against Sweden, and I spoke earlier about it, that their front four, it was absolutely scary. It was on the day. It was Doué, it was Mbappe, it was Olise, and the way that they interchange, Elise is movement on the ball. He's always got his head up. He runs with his head up. He never looks down at the ground. And as soon as he's got his head up, you see these defenders, they see him coming and he's just looking straight at him. It gets them on the back foot because they know they can't just step in and press him. They can't because he can just skip round them. He was playing balls through legs of people. He was absolutely world class. He really, really was. There's always that little bit of a question about his, not temperament, is the way that he is, a bit too nonchalant, really, sometimes, isn't he? But world-class player, absolutely world-class.
They're going to be interesting to watch next season, aren't they? They've got Elise as well.
That's a lot of money as well.
If you're Bellingham.
If you're trying to buy Michael Elise, that's 140 mil, 50 mil straight away.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't know where they find the money from. I think it's a question a lot of people are asking. Look, with Elise in mind, England, of course, take on the French live on talkSPORT tomorrow night. 3rd and 4th place playoff. I know it's meaningless in a lot of respects, but despite, what would you like to see Thomas Tuchel do? Do you want to see him play his strongest team and try and go out and win this game? It's against the French, so it's a feather in your cap.
I honestly don't know what I want from it. I don't know what to expect. I don't even know if I'm going to watch it, to be honest with you. I think he'll play a different team. I think it's really important to give a lot of the players that haven't played any minutes, Kobbie Mainoo, for example, even Tony, Ollie Watkins, that sort of players, give them a start, give them a game so that they can come away, they've made an appearance at least. But on the other hand, if we go and get pumped 4-5-0, honestly, it's a massive problem for Thomas Tuchel. It really is a massive problem for him. So I think he'll have that in the back of his mind. So he'll have to play a fairly strong team. Yeah, it'll be down to the French as well. Obviously, Deschamps is leaving.
Yeah, it was his last game, isn't it?
There was quite a lot of fallout as well after the game. Mbappe wasn't happy with the manager and the way that they approached the game. So it'll be interesting to see what team they put out as well.
I'm sure they'll want to do it for Deschamps in his final game as coach.
You'd like to think so, but what Mbappe was saying after the game didn't kind of echo those sentiments either, though, to be perfectly honest with you. I just think it's a no-win game for both teams. It really is a no-win game. Nobody wants to play it. As soon as you get knocked out of, especially a major tournament like the World Cup, when you're so close, you're on the cusp of getting to a final, you just want to go home. It's as simple as that. You just want to go home, but they're going to have to prepare properly, eat properly, do everything so they don't get injuries. I think they need to get rid of this 3rd and 4th place.
Yeah, well, look, I mean, all of the clubs, whether it's for the French team or the English team, none of them want their players playing in this game, do they? They want them all packed off, have a little brief holiday, because that's what it's going to be before the league seasons get underway again. It's tomorrow night. World Cup final, of course, is live on talkSPORT on Sunday night at 8. talkSPORT is your home of the World Cup, of course, even if England aren't in it. What you got planned for the rest of the day, Ben?
I'm going to go home. I've got to record a podcast and then I'm playing golf, and that's the bit that I'm looking forward to most now. Golf this afternoon.
You look like you've been playing a lot of golf recently on that suntan.
Yeah. I've got a really good golf tan. My arms and my legs are nice and brown. Underneath it's horrible and white, but the bits that are showing are brown anyway.
You haven't played at Royal Birkdale?
No,
so we're watching the Open at the moment.
We would go around here in about 120 shots easily. Honestly, it's brutal. This looks absolutely brutal.
It really does. I mean, you got on the green and then you're always cursing yourself when you 3-putt. I'd be happy with a 3-putt.
I saw Rory scull one yesterday. I think he was on the 16th or 17th. He sculled one from the side of the green over to the other side of the green. So if Rory can do it, it makes me feel not so bad about my golf game.
Remember, McIlroy tees off at 10:09 this morning, and you can hear it live on talkSPORT 2. Ben, brilliant. Thanks for coming in, mate.
Cheers. Thanks, Jeff.
And my thanks as well to Sean Dyche and Blossoms as well. Been a brilliant show. I'll be back on Monday morning from 6. Hawksby and Jacobs are next.
Benidorm is better than Buenos Aires.
Oh, God.
I'm not quite sure on that one.
It's 25 minutes. You're playing against Argentina. And you've just gone, here. There you go. Just attack us. Attack v defence.
Do you know what, Jay? I can't believe I'm having this conversation about Tuchel. I cannot believe I'm having this conversation.
Sack him.
It's just rinse and repeat as England, and I don't know whether he looked back on that Mexico game and got drawn into how comfortable he felt. No, Jay, I'm not giving you an answer. I'm trying to find a reason.